Hello! Yo, we just started the stream in time to see Vukachu walking out on stage. Wasn't with Dragon Ranger last time they were playing in their off-season tournament, from what I can see on VLR. But this should be a good game. DRG really struggled in the off-season, but they were a pretty good team at certain points last year. They made it to Shanghai. They're obviously the Ascension winning team from the year before. So, should be a pretty good one. Hello Twitch viewers. Hello YouTube viewers as well, even though I can't see your chats at the moment. But it'll hook in a moment, and then I can say hello to you properly. I saw that Chobra and TMV were doing a co-stream of All Gamers when they played against Trace. God bless him. I don't know why anyone was co-streaming that game, but it ended up being a closer game than it should have been. Like a way closer game than it should have been. Do they have to make champs to stay in tier 1 now? You have to make playoffs. You have to make stage 2 playoffs in order to have a chance to fight in Ascension. If you make champs, you keep your spot. Unless the other Ascension team also makes champs, and then it's whoever does the best at champs. Trace looked bad. Well, that follows what we saw at Bangkok, because they didn't look fucking good at Bangkok either. Distinct, thank you for the 18 months. Does anyone know if Chobra or TMV are awake? Did you wake up for the F1? I did. This weekend, my wife has mandated that I accompany her to watch the F1. It'll probably be one of about 3 races that I watch all year.
影视修索的，但是今天的话，影视修索 Nova 直接是放了出来，是，而且甚至还在图3选了出来，没错。而 DRG 其实在过去的泳班比较集中于裂变峡谷，但他们同样也在第一赛段开始就对自己的泳班做了一些变化。所以今天我们在看到的最后落下的3张地图：裂变峡谷、莲花古城跟影视修索。
What are my thoughts on Riot deleting Valorant next year? Probably not advised. I would say if they're considering it, don't. That would be my thoughts. EDG play today? Yeah, they play against Tai Lu, right? It should be a very shit game. I need to launch Epic Pen actually. Forgot to do that. 7 viewers? Yes! 7 viewers! Let's go! I love all 7 of you. Has the YouTube chat connected yet? Any people in the YouTube able to comment, type?
到底接下来的队伍会对这名英雄在第一赛段的表现是一个什么样的态度？这个螃蟹
Maybe it hasn't hooked in for some reason.
是特别的美妙，对吧？确实胜率现在不够。那我觉得对于这2支队伍来讲的话，可能稳一点，把这个前面的分数先拿。
All right, let's have a look. What do we got here? We got Yoru and Fade being played here. Slightly different, but the Fade is not unusual. And Nova are committing to the Neon. So, no Vice on either side, double Cypher. And we're seeing the Fade not be comboed with the Neon. The Neon has the Teho and the Yoru has the Fade. It's not like either of these compositions are bad, but I don't exactly know why they're playing the comps that they are. It could be just agent flexibility things that I'm not as aware of because I'm not super up on these players. I know quite a bit about them, but I don't know everything. Like, I don't know. But what I do know is that we've got a Sentinel star matchup here. Vukachu versus Guanji should be one to keep your eye on. And especially if they're playing Cypher and they're not as tethered to their setups as somebody like a Vice would be potentially. They might end up doing some really interesting stuff. Ah, there we go. Now we're connected to the YouTube chat. Here we go. TMV's not awake yet. Gotcha. Big tree push to begin. Flash trying to dissuade them. Repeat. Like I said, Sentinel star matchup. Vukashu gets the first pick. Immediately the breach goes north side to try to react into dish as well. When the tree push comes, they're expecting Hall's pressure. So they're thinking that dish will be open. And it is pretty open. But it does have the cam watching. I mean, he's just watching the entire exec. Now, am I going crazy?
Sideshow doesn't realize that all 7 of his viewers are me on different accounts.
Ah.
Don't believe me? Watch me post glorp on my other accounts.
The glorp spam is coming, huh? There goes Guangji as well, who might have been the player to try to turn things around. Small mistake there from Kangshu. But I don't think Obi-Wan's going to clutch this. Obi-Wan coming off the bench to play for Nova. All good. God damn. What was I going to say here? Oh, yeah. Didn't they add a noise when the Cypher cam is looking at you? So, like, the camera has you in its line of sight. Isn't it supposed to make a noise? I've never noticed it when playing Valorant. I swear I read it in patch notes. I have no clue what the noise is. It's really quiet. Dude, I need to go into a custom and like test that or something, because I mean, even the pros, right? There was 3 of them on camera right there. It's a quiet moment. None of them realized they were on camera. It's got to be so subtle. Uh-oh. They didn't get any info before they decided to just exec B. Oh my god. Nick died to bullet tag, I think. China can't win anti-ecos. You can't just walk into a trap like that on an anti-eco, though. You have to be getting at least a little bit of info. Like, you have a fucking Yoru in your composition. Like, walk forwards with the Yoru with the teleport out and try to trigger trap plays. Try to figure out if they're stacking. I get a little bit of information, but oh my god. Hello? Hello? Oh my fucking god. Kangshu had... Did he even realize that he was getting shot at there? What's your favorite line you've said while casting? I don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. I don't know. I can't even remember any lines I've said while casting. I view casting as it's not about the peak. It's not about how good your like peak moment or peak line was. It's about the integral under the curve. It's about over the 5 hours that you casted the game, or whatever it is, if it's a BO5. Were you providing the most that you could for the majority of the time. I don't give a fuck if like the scripted line I hit for the final moment or whatever is the best.
这分毕竟是有枪了嘛，没有必要去重防一边，所以是 A3B2 的一个分布。这把蟒侠 CB 其实对蟒侠的需求度是非常高的，挂绳的声音应该是被 Nova 直接听到了，确定了对方北区一定是人多的。
So the DRG have gone for a half buy here, but they've actually got quite a bit of money.
但防守防线的 Nova 是立于不败之地。
Still got Vandal, Stinger, Double Stinger, Sheriff here as well.
然后我大不了放点，然后打回防。而且这一分的话，一则是有大的，所以这分如果对方进 A 点的话，其实 Nova 的反清也会非常有力道。就是我可以选择放包，然后让你，然后反清。
My favorite line of yours was when you said I voted Tory. Never said that.
all in 了，来了，直接 all in。
Can we, like, have any idea that we need to cover that angle before we go into sight? Sloppy, sloppy from DRG.
但是博卡数4发子弹进退维谷，但是他用2发子弹再解决掉一个，而且博卡数还在控制着 A 通。
How do you pronounce that guy's name again?
局面几乎就是博卡数靠着一己之力把这个局面打开了。没错，而且2个 Nova 的选手全部被锁定的情况下，看一下光这个关键枪的对拼，不好对，真不好对，对面的位置很不确定在哪里。
Ushinu or something?
光用反应刻了一个，但是博卡数还在尽力。
Olingo. There we go.
3发子弹，但是他已经做的足够多了，4杀，最后一把
Olingo just did a fuck you kind of peek through the.
完全不知道。
No time now.
时间好像不够了。那这样的话，这一分。
Well, this has been a sloppy, shitty game so far.
拿到了一个终结，但是没有拿到分数。这分很有趣的一点是，本来 A 厅的控制权完全在 Nova 的手中，但是
This round on their exec, they're not really aware of that rafters angle before they get into sight and behind the safety of their smokes. Vukashu does a great job of being able to kill 2 here, and then that peek from Olingo is a bad one. They're still in a 3v3 retake, I think, at that point. They have time to be able to wait for like the flank pressure to come through from CB, and they don't. They just breach peak. CB's going for the op pick here. Great shot, bit of a rough timing from CB as well. He was unscoping in order to set up on a deeper angle. His understanding of the timings was off there. Maybe he's expecting the... If someone's getting onto an aggressive angle, he's expecting them to be running, not walking. So in his head, his internal timing's like, alright, nobody's contesting this aggressively, because if they were, they would be running onto the angle. So now I can unscope and rescope onto the deeper angle.
对面有在开头拿到价值，而且这一分还会面临一个情况，如果对面打 A， 你回防的时候是不太敢带这把狙去回防的。是的，一则是站在了一个1楼的位置啊，这个地方是一个战神位，看他能接几个。他这一局他不太好交技能，而且队友想要从复活点先出，反而导致1倒地。
Did I miss the util there, or did they just dry swing through that smoke? Because that completely caught Nova off. They weren't expecting Nick to be entering through the smoke here. Did he flash or something? Because normally if you're a defender in this spot, you're waiting for some kind of like Yoru flash, breach flash, and then they go through the smoke. But Nick was there very early. Don't know. I'll have to watch that back in the replay, I'm not sure. That's a weird one for your breach to be dry entrying, if that's the case.
这个还是被我卡数带走了。那这样的话，这把明狙也被击落。看一下对面想不想要啊？看起来是不要。那这样的话，我觉得对于 Nova 来说，这个上半场。
Normally DRG would be the favorites, but Nova's on a winning streak. I'm not even sure that that's true, to be honest with you. DRG have... I guess we didn't even catch it in the replay. I think they ran out of utility. I think they'd already used their breach and Yoru flashes, so they were forced to go through that smoke dry. But I might be wrong. The replay didn't show it properly. I mean, I'd say that Nova are the favorites at the moment because they've been playing pretty well in that like off-season tournament where they stomp people. But would I have said prior to that that DRG were the favorites? Maybe based on kickoff. Because DRG did alright in kickoff, but in the off-season, Honestly, in the offseason, Nova were looking better than DRG, so I think it's a case of these teams just kind of like going back and forth at the moment.
对，我不是来骗的，我是来要你命的。我觉得这可能是一个更加求稳的选择，就是既能走前面，保证霓虹能够。
They're basically the same, fighting for top 4. I mean, frankly, I don't think either of these teams should be fighting for top. Yeah, Vukashu wasn't playing in the offseason tournament. Yeah, you're right. But Nova still got some good wins. But like, should either of these teams even be fighting for top 4 when EDG, Trace, and then in theory FPX? Although who knows with their roster right now? And then you've got like Billy and Wolves who have better rosters than these teams, I think, but are playing some like whack-ass Valorant. And then you have like XLG who have worse rosters than these teams but are playing better Valorant. I don't know. The fight for like 3rd, 4th is weird as hell in China.
那就看 DRG 要不要上这个当了。DRG 选择了不太容易遭埋伏的那一边，就是沙地，因为沙地不太容易被近距离埋伏。那点里面全是炸弹。这个鬼眼。
So they don't get stalled by the same defensive smoke this time. But again, Kangshu just goes through dry through the smoke.
2楼是个名牌，那没办法。没办法，就是仓鼠说我鬼眼丢过了，我是第2颗鬼眼。
But Kangshu goes through that smoke on the same timing he did last time, which is as his team is scaling. Like the timing of it is good, like how it's coordinated with the other people coming from sand. It's just that they're not throwing utility. They seem to be using their util maybe a little too early, or maybe the issue is that they're stacking both of their flash agents on the people scaling sand. Or maybe it's not an issue, and you know, like this guy is just fucking pure bait. FPX is definitely not top 4. I think judging by last year's performances, they should have been, but I fear that you are correct. Benching Swirl is a big mistake. Obi-Wan and Olingo can't aim. I don't know why they benched Swirl. Swirl seemed like he was a good player, but he was Australian, right? So presumably it was communication barrier stuff. Maybe it was role stuff as well, though. I don't really have good insight into the like decision making of the Chinese teams.
所以我觉得 Nova 不能接受上来被你搞一个5打4。但这一分的话 ，Nova 的一个站位其实没有太大的。
So they're gonna dimensional drift as a fake into B, perhaps. They have this teleport. Okay. They didn't really commit to this very much, but yeah, they did a small fake there.
然后夜路的神鬼不绝 ，Spirit 要找一个地方出点，找到了对面的侧身，有暗说帮，硬要硬扑。
Okay, nice, and Vukashu actually covers. Really good cover from Vukashu. As Spirit is going around in sand, he was really open to that peek on Heaven, and Vukashu covered it from drop. And normally Vukashu's taking the late lurk timing, the late backstab timing, so they haven't been as worried about smoking that off. Okay, okay. I respect that from DRG. Swirl might be benched because he's doing Ramadan? Surely not. Plenty of players have played through Ramadan before. That would be... I think that would be a bit of an insane reason to bench somebody. John won Madrid during Ramadan. That's like it. Yeah, I understand that it could be difficult for a player. Also, doesn't Islam permit you to, if your work like requires you to be eating or drinking water or something that you're allowed? I'm sure there are some provisions. It's not silly about forcing people to fast when it's like unhealthy or unsafe for them. And it doesn't say like you gotta quit work, buddy. It is permissible or travel for over 4 hours or something. Yeah, there's like I'm not an expert, but there's definitely allowances made. Like you could, you don't need to bench guys for that. Yeah, you got to pay back the fasting after Ramadan ends. So like, yeah, you get like a loan. Basically, you get like a food loan, and you can pay it back later. I would assume it's a communication thing. That would be my first assumption. Op again out here from CB, but this time instead of going over here, they're putting a lot of pings here, right? And Spirit's slow creeping onto this angle, same as he was before with a stun, but the Op is actually over towards Arcade. So DRG are aware of this operator threat. They're doing their same protocols to try to clear it out from tree, and now they're pretty confident it's not tree. So they're going to go back over towards halls. Now, it could still be in halls. Teho drone, close. You've got to be a little bit worried about that. But Vakashu goes under tunnel and clears out the op this way. So now you're not worried about an operator elsewhere. They did also clone into halls to try to attract the op bullet, if it was over there. But now they're going back over to tree, which was the area they cleared earlier on. This is nice macro from DRG. Very nice macro from DRG here. Prowler clears the trap, and they're in. I mean, barring any spam, which is, you know, a bit of a gamble on that one. Fadal just to get the plant down. Taeho to try to stop them. They're throwing a lot of ults in here, trying to make it really difficult to plant. But Spirit and Vakashu are pushed up. Obi-Wan should not have been able to win that duel. If Obi-Wan clutches this... Oh my god! That is rough for DRG. They played the macro of this round pretty perfectly. They just got caught on the swings as the smokes went down and the ults came out, and then some of their players whiffed some important kills at the end. Like, Nick really needed to get that kill. One more bullet from Nick, and Obi-Wan goes down. Oh no. What is the pink thing behind me? That's my magic rabbit. It's a Barbie poster. From the hit movie Barbie? What's your problem with that? Why are you typing WMD? Like I'm fucking George Bush looking for a reason to invade a Middle Eastern country. What the fuck does WMD mean? I understand spamming W. What are the M and the D? DRG is scaling quite nicely again, but here comes the push. Vakashu doing a good job defending. Nick's given the job to plant this time. Okay. CB decides to go a bit more aggressive there, looking for another. Nick could die to that spam so easy. It is winnable for Izia, but tough. Very tough. Oh. And he just got a little too close to the angle. What would be your favorite name to say while casting? I would imagine Obi-Wan would be one of them. Oh yeah, Obi-Wan's an amazing name. Amazing name. How do you think Waylay will do? Waylay did get chosen in China. Yeah. It didn't go well. It didn't go well.
换牌的强度，或者说他的安全逃生能力，他在 A 通就是靠一个不请自来，骗了对面一堆技能，还能安全逃出去。是的，那这样的话，第10分 ，Nova 再度陷入存钱分，整个上半场 Nova 其实就没有好好的。
Oh, it was supposed to be a question mark. You have to hold M to get to the question mark on your phone. So you typed M in the chat instead of a question mark. I see, I see.
游乐场的方向做反控，这一分的话，金方又是一个静音的接触。另外一边仓鼠在守volk卡鼠的半线，他应该把前一分钟打了，但仓鼠这个位置会有点危险。大量的技能淹过来，仓鼠打2个半吗？打了2个。
Pretty clean from Kangshu, taking 2 with him there.
对面还没有把脚枪 ，Spirit Z1 的位置有点危险 ，Spirit Z1 漂亮的定位。
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
靠枪法取胜。
Not a bad idea from Nova there to put a lot of pressure into spawn. Certainly the salvos helped, but DRG are running away with this game. They actually look really nice here too. They look like they have a good understanding of the macro. They look, yeah, they're not just playing some basic ass fracture. They're really trying to work good looks in. They're super aware of how their opponents are going to be using ults and going to be flood retaking against them. They've got good protocols for taking early map space and then pivoting into different directions. Looks pretty nice. Looks pretty good. Alright, this round they're going to take arcade control at the beginning. They have a cam to watch behind and they have a trip on the bottom side. Fully cleared out tower. No ultimates on the other side at all, so it should be really tough for Nova to avoid the plant going down. Nick's going to bunny hop in and then go for the safe plant. Yeah, no Brim ult, no Breach ult. Not even using the stun and the aftershock here. Presumably because the Breach was too far away. So now, full 5v5 retake. Obi-Wan is, honestly, he's finding some really important kills. Flexing. You have the orbital strike. Oh my god. Wait, Vukashu is frying though. They might get hit by the trip. The trip. Oh my god, that's a post-plant trip that Vukashu laid down and then put his cage and fucking did a spiral around it. Ah, that is nice. That is nice. The Neon ran into the trip trying to hunt him down. Obi-Wan though, why is that kill onto Spirit? DRG are playing a better game here, but these post plants are getting really close. And I think part of it is because Dragon Rage don't quite have the coordination to peek together and play off each other as much in the chaos. The Nova players are hitting some nice shots though. Like Obi-Wan's won that clutch and then made things tough there by killing Spirit. But yeah, Vukashu is really good. Didn't you say DRG were overrated in the F tier? They were at the beginning of the year. They were losing everything in the offseason. Oh my god. But they've been good before. They made it to Shanghai. And they won Ascension. They're not a bad roster. Isn't post plant in general very hard on Fracture B? It depends. If you have ults online, like if you have Breach ult, if you have Brim ult, if you have Teo ult or whatever, and if you're able to stay in control of Tree, it's actually a really easy post plant to play because you can throw a Brim Molly lineup, you can have an Aftershock lineup from Tunnel, you can be throwing salvos at the plant, you can throw all of your ults at the plant afterwards as well. B can be a ridiculously... Like, it can be literally impossible to retake B if your post plant has the tools to just throw it at the plant. But if the ults and like if your player positions are not in safe spots to throw the post plant utility, like for example there we saw that the Brimstone was over at Arcade, which is not a safe spot. He's getting pinched from spawn and he's getting pushed from Jenny. Then it's not going to be good.
City CL Sen versus Energy map bind which Sen won 13-4 on Monday, November the 4th.
Because I haven't bothered making a proper YouTube thumbnail for my co-streams. Do you want to make one for me? MILF near you? Are you going to do a better job? If Vukashu was in EMEA, would he be a top 5 Sentinel in the league?
漂亮。对，但你可以看到后面 DRG
Ignoring the fact that Benji had a terrible kickoff, Benji's definitely the best center in the league, right? And then there's Les, who's also outrageously good. Who else? We've got Nats, of course, who's superb as well at the moment. Who else? We've got DRG is pretty damn good. DRG. That's a U in the middle there, I promise. Who else have we got? Who am I missing? Elite? Elite is pretty fucking good, actually, yeah. But now we're starting to get to the level of people that I think might be as good as Vakashu. Like, once you start getting to this level, this is where I'm thinking... I don't know confidently that DRG and Elite are better than Vakashu. Alpha? Is Alpha even a Sentinel anymore? I feel like he's a weird Senti flex kind of player. But sure, if we want to throw Alpha in here, like if we're back in like Killjoy, Cypher, full Sentinel jail for Alpha, then yeah, for sure. Sugetsu? Oh yeah, Sugetsu! Dude, I forgot about Sugetsu. Would he be a top 5 Senti then? No, I don't think he would. There's too many good Sentinels in EMEA. Oh yeah, Sugetsu plays smokes now. What am I talking about? That's literally Elite's team. Yes, I'm gonna go and say bye-bye to the dog.
Easier 只能做一个1换1不太够，因为另外2个人完全做不了事，一旦第一包就得出来，烟消失了。光非常非预苗的一颗甩头。 靠枪法掰了1分回来，这分的话，在后续 DRG 的反清，其实因为这个烟马上就要散掉了，他们只能选择拼一拼。但是这2个人血量其实是有点落后的，有点残血的。但光这个反应还是很快啊！我们来看一下，最后也是一个不在预苗位上面哦，几乎一个90度的拉枪啊，瞬间的处理掉2个人，是没问题。这样的话，对于 Nova 来说，下半场首枪分可以让他们稍微吃一吃定心丸。 光最后选择不起，然后应该是队伍会起4把枪，而对面 DRG 起的1把锋刺，不乐星的锋刺啊，而这一分的防守站位的话，还是一个小毒点啊。那看一下 Nova， 他在进攻的时候怎么处理对方有可能毒点，会怎么处理？他是阴过对面的，对吧？怎么避免被对面阴到？理想一点，最理想的情况就是这个位置控完之后走下水道，然后再往游乐场去走。其实说透了就是避开那种近点窄口，对，窄口是最容易被设计的。 而且其实北区已经提前让光去落位了，他手里一把，这个锋刺我在想会不会给到 Nova 一些错误啊，对吧？就是我起了，对吧？我全都抢起了，是这样偏的吧？但是好像没什么意义啊，感觉。想要在北边打猎，没找着人，对面人是藏在了掩体后面，这样博卡楚的背身可能会有点危险，但是有战术监控啊，我感觉随时开啊。 他刚看过，他现在绝对不会开监控的。博卡硕开了，哎呦，这把是看到了，还是看到了，好准一颗。其实我觉得光在想有没有看到，又来一颗。博卡硕离子正义宣传片已经22杀了。那这样的话，看一下关键枪是来自一泽，但是有人在架。哦，还好他是打到头了，仓鼠是打中身体应该。往那去拍下去，但是金光2个人已经跑到发发出生点，这个位置不太好啊。现在欧林欧会变得很危险。 这个位置可能会被对面隔离处理，但他找到了一个侧身还不错，把杀敌人先处理掉。博卡楚需要队友帮忙，但是队友在 A 通死得很快，博卡楚只能自己来了。欧辽再多打2个，完成一个残杀，博卡楚的正义再敲一个，主动掰出来还是被欧辽架掉。这个180真的不能再让他杀了，但是还是有损失啊，起了4把，没记错的话掉2把。哇，这把 anti eco 分数啊，打的 Nova 有点满头大汗啊，感觉有点流汗了。这把正义确实太准了，全是1颗。 但欧林欧也是在点内站住了。其实我觉得欧林欧这名选手的话，我真的很喜欢，他一直非常冷静，他是一个非常冷静的指挥。是。而对于 Nova 这种偏年轻的队伍来说，其实需要一个很冷静的指挥，去拉一拉队伍。有些时候，他的选位这一分其实也是比较冒险的，因为他在点里面是个单人站到点内的一个站位。没错。 那这一分很关键了，对于 DRG 来说，这分如果丢掉，可能会掀起一些不一样的波澜。哎呦，这个坐点，好像身位漏的有点大，被 Spirit 接到2个，主要是被对面开门了。人数的置换完全倒向了 DRG 这一边。我 DRG 这一分呢 ，A 通的想法就是我允许你进 A 通，但是我听到你进 A 通的一瞬间，我就要把这个包围圈直接轰炸干净。没错。最后主要是爆能器被扣掉了啊。 这条条大路通爆能器啊，怎么走光都要往 A 大的方向去渗透，而且他这分更多想是下枪了。2楼这个距离，我卡数不是150滴血啊，光还是有机会的。但现在就不漏，是漏了个非常小的身位啊，而且应该也是枪位会对于仓鼠比较有优势一点。是的。 这样的话，这一分在自己比较，也是因为第2分的伏笔吧，被下了2把枪，然后那分枪械比较烈，而且对面的 A 通的设计确实很有意思，他是先放你进 A 通，然后开门啊，两面来绞杀你在 A 通里面的人。
而且 CB 刚才这个弹球给的时机好像也有点尴尬，他好像没有预判到对方有可能会出现在点内支架。
5比10，这一分对于 nova 来说几乎就是这一盘的生死分了。
关键分来了。 但这一分的话，其实可以打得慢点啊。不过防守方不想让进攻方控球，这个 B 通的球可能会成为胜负手。
铁臂要震，先手交震直接拉出去，监控看到人震加闪，
高闪接震，
监控看到人直接震加闪来了，
要来了吗？
震加闪，反手闪电弹球给的很不错。
是的，
这分 CB 这个闪电弹球救大命，但是还是拉出来了硬杀。
福乐星加上一个 Spirit， 完成了一波，2个人完成了一波双杀。
想退，欧联欧不想放对面走，但是自己也走不掉。
爆能器被击落，再出来补枪有点葫芦娃救爷爷了。
烟呐，那个烟导致你其实就是退也不好退，然后后面就算有队友也补不上来。
哇，那这样的话光巨难受啊！他这分才刚刚渗透到下水道附近的位置，
就只剩自己1人了，
又是一个要去捡爆能器的情况。
我方仅剩1人，
还是同样的镜头被直架。 拿出来没办法，
而且你会发现 DRG 打触发现在打得非常的熟练，就他不是盲目出击，他是有前置条件，就是我监控看到人，然后我一套 combo 出去。
今天这个战术阅读做得很到位啊，就对方铁臂正好就欧联欧差1个点儿，这个 B 通的球按理说应该是进攻方去控的，
好拿的，
但是就是这个位置成为了一个非常关键的胜负手，而且这套。 带闪的决斗啊，第一波触发的 combo 确实很到位，
而且他这一套还不是第一套就成功，因为 CB 那个反手的闪电弹就很漂亮，他是缓了1拍，然后第2波丢了这个赛博球再出去，然后这一下我觉得 nova 完全没想到。
对，虽然你是霓虹，但是你吃阵也是会非常慢的。我们来看一下新的一分，这分进攻方的话，经济是非常差劲的。我卡叔又在一个老位置做一个支架，按理说会吃一个阵，
但他能跑，他反正就没把我吃阵我能跑无所谓的。连里面有线，B 通1根，然后游乐场连接1根，呀。
他从进来照到了，但是问题不大。哎，光的话收掉了一个福乐星。
福乐星是战门神，结果被摘了。这样的话有一把步枪可以升级，进攻方双先锋有大，这一分 nova 是可以 all in 的。
CB 贴到了近点，爆能器顺利的拍下去。这边看一下神鬼不绝已经步入
先锋技能交的有点晚 ，Azir 刚交，一泽交自己的先锋技能，
哇，一个夹缝当中2个人活了下来。
对，大量的技能铺设，但是没有人数的入账，有一个人在点里面，技能远距再交，但是并不是所有人都被卷了，滑闪出去 ，CB 讽刺尽力，但是局面依然是个1v1，1
打1，
而且尼克更健康。
一泽的话手里是把风刺啊，
他也用自己的招牌技能先拖一波，
尼克没有低包的。 这个爆能器一定要摸下才可以。
他不确定对面要走哪边，因为对面他猜错了方向。那这样的话 ，Azir 利用自己的招牌技能精准投放，晃到了对面。他认为给到了对面一个我要绕鱼。
正常情况下，这个位置
Apologies. I am back. I am back.
因为它的延迟会非常高。
但这一分 CB 也是在最后接住了队友惊雷卷地的鱼。
My cousin's thinking about moving here, so we were looking after their dog while they went looking at houses and stuff. So plenty to talk about. But I do want to watch the end of this game, and it does look like it's not closing out completely easily. Nova just won a thrifty. Okay. All right. Anyway, I haven't watched very much of this, so let's take a look. So we've got a cross-map teleport going on while they triple fight over halls at the beginning of the round. Nick didn't actually use any util, but I assume he was ready to use a stun down the line. I mean, it looks like he's holding it now in case there's any contact off the Prowler. And then they've got this teleport in case there's a fast B react. Seems like a pretty decent defensive setup here. They have the cam and the trip kind of holding the same thing, which is a little bit weird. I don't exactly know what Vakashu's up to with the trip. He seems like he just wants to fight a really aggressive angle here, but he could pretty easily get caught out in this arcade spot. Doesn't seem like the best way of playing this situation for Vakashu, especially when he's got such quick reinforcement from the teleport, but now he's backed up into tower, which is a little safer. Trip, camera, both broken. That's going to inform some rotates. Teleport disappears. But that's fine because the breach and the brim have already rotated. The Yoru can stay on A now. They're pinging the crap out of tower. Is that how CB is going to scale?
因为长时间的静音，DRG 不是很确定，在纠结要交什么技能。
Late on the brim, late on the brim molly. Potentially big mistake from flexing. Oh my god, Vukashu. Okay, only gets one. He got the most difficult kill. Flexing is all over the place with these fights. Big though, big from DRG. I like the idea. I mean, they were... Flexing was a bit late on some of the utility, and then a bit whiffy on some of the shooting, but they got there in the end. You gotta check out round 16. You missed one of the nicest trap plays like ever. Okay, I'll have a look. I'll have a look. You've been having a very rough day or night today, Rushtop? Sorry to hear that.
If Vo0 Cashew counts as EMEA, can you argue that 8 out of the top 10 Senti players are from EMEA? Current Senti players and actual Senti players, Sui and Alpha.
Well, okay, we can't be counting... You can't just count people that have played Senti. like, why are you counting Sugetsu in there? He's an actual Senti player, I swear to God, guys. But also, 8 out of 10 of the current top Senti players are from EMEA. Are you counting less? Are you counting John Cutie? You've got some very strange definitions there, I think. Because you're using the no real Scotsman kind of logic.
4A 的一个防守了，混烟，而且监控还在看高低差，高低差的监控能不能再看一眼对面的入侵的高低差的人？看到了，光又被查到了点。啊，这样的话在主角斗到
Less Meteor and Chishu already disproved that. Yeah, but I don't know whether the chatter is counting less as EMEA. I mean, Nova need to be playing their attack sides way less orchestrated than this if they want to beat DRG. DRG looked very aware in this map. All right, where's round 16? Is that this one? Round 15? Round 16, okay. Chat, you're saying this one's an insane round, right? Alright, so they have Trip in case there's some kind of... I mean, just to give them late information over towards Dish. Hello? Why is my stream not working? The fuck? That's weird. What's going on? Alright, teleport. That's weird. Oh, okay. So they have camera, flash, stun, and then they flash out of the cage again with the smoke. Very all in. Very all in. I mean, the first player to get caught on the cam contact, if they don't die, you know, if, for example, the stun comes out that stops you from being able to scale on it, there might be people inside this smoke. There might be people... Oh, well, you guys can't actually see, can you? Wait there. I'll wait until the camera flips. So, there could be somebody inside the smoke here. There could be somebody anti-flash here. And there could be somebody anti-flash here. And all of those positions are still going to be anti-flash to the bounce Yoru flash that they throw through the cage. So when you go for that second fight out through the cage, that's when the danger happens. Because the first person to scale up that got caught by the cam could be playing anti around this corner. There could be someone anti here. There could be someone anti here. There could be someone anti inside that smoke as well. So there's plenty of opportunities for DRG to get smoked. But yeah, it's a very cool flash angle from Spirit. And I like the idea of doing flash traps off the back of cam contact. I like that. But
make sure you're hydrating a lot today.
Yeah. Okay.
Just letting you know.
Yeah. I've got my glass of water.
Okay. Drink like 4 of those before we leave.
Okay.
Okay. Just letting you know.
What do you mean by orchestrated? I mean, let's have a look at the round that I'm actually talking about, right? It was this one. I mean, that
all
all four, well, they're playing a 4-1 default right now, right? They're droning in this direction. They haven't really put any pressure up here. They haven't put any pressure into arcade. And so all of these players are able to rotate based off the drone. Nova have been doing, presumably, I assume, a lot of all-in hits prior to this because they're just not worried about it being a fake at all. They're not worried about it being a fake. They're not worried about it being a piece of defaulting. They're just pretty confident that at about the minute mark, when they get stuff like stun back online, they're going to be sending it on an execute. So, whereas when you see the way that DRG were playing, DRG were like taking a little bit of tree control at the start of the round, going back, pressuring holds. If somebody pushes tree, then they'll take the rope and immediately try to pivot through dish, like trying to use information to be able to get around the map, basically, in a good spot, rather than make it obvious where you're going. That's what I mean by that. Oh, if you want to read about FPX calling stuff, yeah, I do actually. Yosemite talks about FPX's current IGLing situation. TLDR, Autumn does the pre-round calls while Yosemite does a lot of the mid-rounding, and he now has to comment 2 languages. I didn't know that Yosemite was good enough with English like that, actually, but cool. Able men are more busy. Those who have great ability take up more responsibility. What should we do then? It is what it is. The capable guy does more. There's no choice. We don't have an IGL, so we have to choose someone to IGL. You can only take up IGLing if you have the ability to. For now, it's basically... Yosemite's Twitter is like cinema. Right. Okay. Okay. Interesting. What's there that is hard to understand? He's only making a call at the start of the round. He's calling a strat, giving orders. It's not super detailed. We are coming to details during a round. For example, we do plan A this round, we do plan B this round, we start with plan C this round. What's there to not understand? He's just giving the game plan at the start of the round. I mean, that's... A lot of the times when I'm mid-rounding, I first call in English because I want to let Autumn know what I plan to do. Then I translate for the rest. But coming in 2 languages is really hectic. Dude, I'm going to be honest. This sounds fucked up. This sounds fucked up. Because also what they're essentially saying is, like, this is... It's interesting the way that Yosemite says this because what he doesn't say actually gives away more than what he does. What he doesn't say is... that normally before barrier calls can actually be quite complex. They're not always supposed to be out of the strat book. Sometimes they're going to be like, hey, I've noticed that this guy does this. Let's go and punish that by doing X, X, and X. I know that we don't normally do that, but like, let's adjust by doing this. Let's do our B hit, but actually let's swing this guy in here or like whatever. And the fact that all of their mid-rounding has to be done in 2 languages and isn't being done by Autumn. Basically, Yosemite is the IGL, right? Like, Autumn is calling the strat at the start of the round, but that's not really what being an IGL means. I guess that's what, like, Marved was... doing when he IGL'd for Sen or something, but that's an extremely surface level understanding of what an IGL is doing. Strange. Yeah, maybe they just run set strats like almost all the time. Imagine Autumn makes a shit call and Yosemite just tells his team something else. Well, but seriously though, what happens if Autumn makes a call and the team disagrees with it? Do they have enough communication there to be able to come to a compromise within 30 seconds? That's strange. That's strange. I mean, let's see how it works, but that is... It was already a fucked up comms situation inside FPX, with Berlin having to do calls in English and Mandarin. And the fact that it has gotten even worse is bonkers. Yosemite can translate. What's the issue? Do you really don't see what the issue is? I don't know if I can help repair your understanding, frankly, if you don't see what the issue could be with having to translate everything. Is it even possible to play properly while coming in 2 different languages? Yeah, I mean, FPX, they were doing it before with Berlin. Berlin was calling in English and Chinese, so... I think you're underestimating the English ability of FPX. I don't know shit about FPX. I'm going based off what they've said themselves. They literally said they have to come in 2 languages. If the English level of FPX was good, they wouldn't be coming in 2 languages. If the Mandarin level of Autumn was good, they wouldn't be coming in 2 languages. Hello? Maybe they're just doing it for fun. True. Okay, so now we've got Guanji on Raze. CB goes over to play the Deadlock. So role swap. Guanji is a good player. Let's have a look at this. So we've got Vice Deadlock being played here on Lotus is the map, right? Let me just go back. Lotus Vice Deadlock with a breach. Holy shit, this is interesting to take a look at. And then DRG are just running like meta comp. Like the kind of thing that DRX was running. Interesting. I'm pretty sure it's just Guang, not Guanji. Okay. I mean, Guang. I'm fine with that. Is this new Deadlock? Yes, it is, right? Because, look, the Gravnet is on the E. These are all the signature abilities, and the Gravnet is there. So, yeah, this is... Alright. There's the Gravnet. 2 people caught by it. Spirit teleports immediately past the wall into B alone? Huh? Guang used to play Duelist before they got Swirl? Nick just runs in past the wall? This is a shit round from DRG. Why aren't more teams running the new Deadlock if it's out? This is literally our, like, second opportunity to see it. I mean, it's pretty new. Give it a bit of time. Give it a bit of time. Yeah, there's another game today. EDG play against Tyloo. What is Oo's name in Chinese? It is Olingo. Or maybe people say Oling instead of Olingo. I don't know. But I've been told it's Olingo. Duolingo without the Dew. Olingo. Yeah, wait, that's such a good way of explaining it. It's Duolingo without the Dew.
现在的首枪局胜率来到还是不太高啊。
You're a genius.
的目前的起枪情况也是起到4把长枪，
只有我卡出搞了正义。
So we've got stun with the vice wall. We've got stun here as well.
这个深感线
Oh.
哎呦。
Head spotted over the top of that. Well, Vukashu also got caught trying to lurk into B here. I don't know if he got caught by the vice wall or what. I think he waited for Obi-Wan to die and then tried to take a timing and got caught. But you've taken down one of the Sentinels. The other one is still alive. This is going to be a pain in the ass. DRG on their attack side are going to get stressed out, I think, trying to play against this. The good thing about, or rather the downside of Deadlock Vice on this map is that it's not like Bind where there's only 2 sites. There are 3 sites. So, a rubble is either going to be fought by the whole of the team, and the Sentinel util is over here and over here, or if the Sentinel utility is on A, it's going to be deep on A, which means you get rubble for free. And if you get rubble for free and you realize the center util is on A, you can probably pivot to B. So I feel like there should be more options than on Bind, where this felt suffocating to play against. Is this live or not? No, this is pre-recorded. Everything I do is pre-recorded. I'm actually a fucking symbiote. Me, the computer, inextricably linked. Cyborg-looking ass. Okay, Spirit is supposed to teleport out in those kind of situations. But they've managed to get it back into a 3v3. Hello! Hello! Olingo! You're not supposed to go buck wild there. You're supposed to drop back and play the 3v3, but whatever. He runs in and gets a kill, I guess.
个烟，但是那个监控一直还在，这个监控偶尔亮一下是很有可能能看得到一泽的回防的。
哦，那现在的话，一泽的这个站位就很尴尬了呀。
It should be a difficult one for Nova to win with the weaponry they have, but very good damage already. Ah, very good swap, very good. And this is now concerning for Vukashu. He's got a good spot though. It feels awkward. Oh, he's missed the timing. Wow. Nice 1v2 from Vukashu, but his team desperately needed that. Desperately needed that. The way those rubble fights are kind of supposed to work is that your Yoru is more of a utility sponge. The Yoru goes in, takes like 1 shot max, and then leaves. Whereas instead, Spirit kind of ran in with the Omen, and they decided to full fight that. I don't think that's really how you play this comp to its best. Deadlock tried to ult. Deadlock tried to ult. Oh shit. I didn't realize. CB's 6-1, I hadn't even fucking realized. Already had Deadlock ult and wasted it. But that's crazy. Ooh. Right. Okay. So it is a nice shot, but also again Spirit is entering without any way of getting back out again. So if he had lost that, they just would have been scrambling and maybe even unable to get the plant down because they would have been spamming from waterfall. Hello? Hello? Trade? I've witnessed a robbery. 999. I've witnessed a fucking robbery. What was that? That was criminal. Utterly criminal. How is he able to just dry swing through that smoke, kill one, and then run away? Not even teleport away, just run away. Look at that! It's just knife out. Fleeing the scene of the crime. Well, that's not very good. Considering how bad the pistol round was for DRG, Nova will be very disappointed that it's 2-2 right now with them on an eco. They're about to lose control of the game. Let's keep looking at the defensive setups, though. We have all of the Sentinel utility basically on A. We have Vice Wall here, Thorns, Stun. But, like I said, that leaves Rubble completely open for the attackers. So anytime you do a defensive setup like this, Rubble is free. And as soon as you get Rubble for free, DRG should be thinking, I wonder why we're getting this for free. And the answer should be, there's probably some pretty heavy Sentinel util on the site. And at that point, I think pivoting to B makes a lot of sense. Well, they know the result. Okay, they already died. I was like, what the fuck? How did the result not kill everyone there? They're just brute forcing it though, DRG. Like they know that this is going to be the tough site to get through, and instead they're just like, no, I'm going to keep going there. Good from Vukashu again to get the punish on the double door knife and that kind of thing, but I don't think the macro call there of trying to force your way through tree is the right one. Yeah, and the Omen just uses ult to escape. Fine. No problem. You're still netted in the Yoru ult? Yeah. Oh, it was the Yoru, sorry, not the Omen, yeah. To dodge. I thought it was an Omen ult. Yeah, when you teleport or ult or whatever as Yoru, you remain grav-netted. Gravnet persists. Where's the coverage? Oh my god, they are so blind. They were so blind. I think that was a team flash from Flexin. Olingo hit a nice flash there as well, but I'm pretty sure Flexin also hit a team blind onto his teammate to stop them from being able to cover the heaven peak. Let's have a look. The net also catches the salvos from Tejo. Wait, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, that paranoia just blinded the fuck out of his teammate there, but they were not ready for that heaven swing timing. Decent coordination from Nova. Pretty good. So many ults available here. DRG want to send the Yoru in, figure out if it's a fake. I mean, Spirit is getting the kill, but then he's dying. I guess I can't criticize him too much because he did get the entry. He got Guang down. But he is supposed to be able to escape in these spots as the Yoru. They are patching the Gravnet to not do that, though. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it would be intended. It makes sense it would do it to a Trailblazer or maybe even a Boombot, but... Right. Nice little piece of post-bind aggression there. I like that. Okay, I fuck with that. Making sure that you play quicker than Nova, pushing them through Blue Room quickly with the breach ult. Nice, nice. That's good. That's good. Chinese aim is the best? I don't think that's true on average. It's not a statement that I would agree with. But there are a lot of good aimers in China. I'm not saying that there aren't. I mean, EDG, for example, has got some insanely sharp aimers. And then some rosters like like wolves or Billy, some individuals like Vukashu, which is a bit weird to say because I guess he's an import, but.
DRG 完全是不想去打对方的 C 点，就要把这个人都吃掉，
而且这过点过得很精细，技能太尊重了。这闪加黑，你有重力补网又奈何。
Let's have a look with rifles online though.
感觉这应该 Nova 要坐不住了。
就我觉得现在对 DRG 来说打的有点就闲庭信步，他觉得我既可以去，比如说我知道你很多人在前压，我去进弱侧点，我也可以选择像刚才一样放夹角。
Ted Quiet, thank you for the 3 months. I feel like China play the game in such a different way than most other regions.
很到位啊。对。
I think they're actually getting more and more aligned with the global meta as time goes on. There's always going to be outlier teams in every region that play strange stuff, off-meta stuff, different ideas about how to play the game. But like I would say Foot play Valorant more differently than most of the Chinese teams. Maybe not most of the Chinese teams, but like a number of the Chinese teams play more standard Valorant than Foot does. It's not just... Oh, the Mako play! Oh. I respect it. Pulling out the Mako play round 9 in an eco swing round. They've still got C control here as well. Interesting idea to push up and then stack all of this super deep. Azia's just completely on his own though.
瀑布的位置很难站人，手里有短炮，这分的话，防守方第一时间不太好走出来，准备交弹地闪，对面交惊雷选地，我
Good flash.
非常漂亮的一颗攻击不备
But they can't hold on because of the stun, the breach shell.
大量的技能交互，重力这个
Everything on Nick. No,
配合
over.
上最后的对枪，还是拿下了残局。
Okay, so
这分还好，大招够多，我觉得只能说。
I'm a little bit confused why when Azia died, they didn't completely dominate control of CT, because that would have given them a very nice safety position against the breach ult. But I think they were just a bit scared of the combo of the Vice and breach ult. It is a huge amount of ults on the retake.
但 DRG 的话，其实在先失一人的情况下，他这个临场的处理也不错。对，但 Nova 这个大招毕竟太多了，4比5的分数。
What comp do you prefer? Too early to say. I mean, the first time that I've really seen Deadlock Vice be used on this map. The Omen teleport into spawn. It's actually quite difficult to pull this play off, so the Yoruel is doing a lot here to give information as to what Flexin should be afraid of, and this allows the pinch to come through from both sides. I like the way that DRG have constructed that. A lot of teams just ult their Omen into spawn and then try to run at them from 2 directions, and that is shit. But using the Yoru ult there to inform the Omen is a very nice way of doing that. Nice! Wait, how the fuck did that even work? Was that an Omen? Wait, I missed what happened there. I thought the Yoru TP'd away and baited out the Raze ult, and then the Yoru was still there. I missed something. What the fuck even happened? Somebody teleported, didn't they? Gotta see that in the replay. Gotta see that in the replay. Did the Yoru teleport, but only like a tiny distance, maybe?
他这个离魂的方向其实有点那个，就是他看到人他要杀的，而不是他想把人放走，对吧？
Are you really not gonna show that in the replay? Seriously? Okay, I'm gonna go back and replay it myself then. Fine, I'll do it myself. Oh my god, he just walked forwards. He didn't teleport at all. I thought Flexin teleported. He just ran at the Raze's face and the Raze missed the rocket. Brother. Unfortunate. Unfortunate for Guang. So now, again, look at how easily Vukashu's realized that he has full rubble control. And this should let them know there is Senti util on A. Anytime you get rubble for free, there is going to be Senti... well, maybe not in this round, actually, because they're on an eco. But usually it's going to mean there's heavy Sentinel util on A. And you should fake A, pivot B. Fake A, pivot B. Don't try to brute force your way through A. You're going into all of the Sentinel util and the stack. I swear to God, DRG are just whacking their heads into a brick wall and winning here. Okay. Okay. I guess let's just pick the hardest area in the map to go through and get through it anyway. All good. All good, I guess. Pivoting is for cowards? Yeah, I'm a fucking coward. Fair enough. Fair enough. SHSL Ruby, thank you for the prime. And When Grace, thank you for the prime as well. GE used Deadlock on Lotus in kickoff and got absolutely shit on. Yeah, some other teams have used Deadlock here. And some teams have even used Deadlock Cypher here. But I haven't seen anybody, from what I remember, using Deadlock Vice. And I think that might make a big difference. I think it could cook, in theory. I think there's... I don't think it's going to be as good as Bind. But I think there's reasons why it could be really good after the Deadlock buffs. Maybe even before the Deadlock buffs it would have been good. Running solo Initiator Teho is probably not the play, Agent Buriburi. Then again, running solo Initiator Breach, I also think is a little strange. Vukashu has been given so much space off the back of this ult. Zia just won the round for them by killing 3 and we didn't get to see it really. I liked the pathing from the Yoru. I liked the set play to give him the kill onto CB. I liked Vukashu's lurk coming through after the Yoru. And then Azia killed 3 of them. So let's have a look. What happened there? Kangshu got caught inside of the stun. That 3K is not supposed to happen. Replace the Vice with the Teho. You have Breach Deadlock with raised Teho. Yeah, you could run that, but that's a very different composition. That's not... You're not getting the benefit out of the double senti there. You're really just going for... you're really just going there for the standard composition that everybody's running, but with a Deadlock instead of a Vice or Viper. And at that point, I think you'd be better off with a Vice rather than a Deadlock. Probably. Or even a Viper. The Thorns are so good on the attack side for stopping people flooding. The Vice Wall is such good information on the defense side. And if you run the Viper iteration instead, there's just so much good stuff you can do with control over B, easier rotates, refights towards a rubble. I don't know. I think it's probably an acceptable trade-off going for the Deadlock in that comp. But I'm intrigued by the double senti idea. Fade is the only good solo initiator on Lotus. I think so. I think that's right. Maybe you could get away with running the Teho. But I think you're correct. Sova's fine, I guess. Sova is fine if you are running the specific double duelist composition that T1 are running. But I wouldn't want people to be running the Sova, like, generally, in normal comps. But the T1 comp, it fries because of the combinations that you get with the ISO. But running it without the ISO, I'm not down for. Alright, so early Gravnet being thrown. Does force Spirit out into the open. And Guang does kill 2 players. Now, they're not going to clear Flex in. So the question is, how many can he get? The answer is only 1. And Nick dies?
们被轰掉了。
Nick, brother.
点内啊，
反正被吸住了吗？
有先缀的助攻，这样的话这分其实已经
He just walked into the aftershock.
但1打4对于仓鼠来说，这个难度太。
Holy. Get a grip.
精准投放马上转好，
先找人吧，我觉得精准投放倒不急。
不是他这个太难受了，还有人在绕的啊。
嗯，
而且有钢索的生产陷阱在这里。
来了刷新的重力补网，这也是换成专属技能之后的一个好。
Does that composition work with the new ISO?
重力补网可以来用。
说实话 ，DRG 这分真的挺有想法的，对啊，藏了3个人在 C 大这个口，
Yeah,
但是
I don't.
枪法
I
还是那
think-
个问题啊。
而且我觉得 Spirit Z1 第一时间是有机会。
I think losing out on an undercut is pretty big,
给你机会，你得抓得住才行。
but
哦，尼
oh
克就是
my
钻到
god,
烟里面
Nick.
直接被。
But I think it still works. Yeah.
这样的话，在下半场首将分 ，Nova 是能够有机会把这个分数去追进。6比7，
还可以啊，这对 Nova 来说，起枪3+2啊，
这起枪其实挺贪的，
有点贪。
他想把这3把枪，这3把枪带到下。
Big fight over towards Mound. Spirit's supposed to teleport away.
说拉出来，标配没打过。
I don't think Spirit has teleported away from a single fight. I think Spirit thinks he can win every single duel he's in. I respect the confidence, but like he is literally just getting caught every time. These like defensive teleports that he has to be able to get out of a situation, I don't think he's ever used.
而且能够放生产陷阱。另外一边的话，其实
That's a great mindset to have. He's also contributed to like 4 first deaths for his team, where he might have been able to escape and they could have played the live. I think maybe he should be pressing E a little bit more often.
真 fake 还是假 fake 呢？
这
Basically you. Dude, I am shit with that. Whenever I play duelists or chamber or like anything that has a
刚好是来
press E to escape button, I'm never hitting the escape hatch. I'm dying every time.
确实有2个人，而且我看出在树屋。
不是 DRG，因为 DRG 的角度来讲，他没必要转了，就我最终还是这个1/2的概率。
那我有黑哦，有黑尼克全套技能，我看出有一把鬼魅。
It's not like any of the situations has been egregious. It's just that he keeps doing it every single time.
要关了，树屋要关了。我看出鬼魅点一个，有没有机会点第2个？再点一个，他最后倒了，但
Off
是
the
16
back of
秒
the stun.
黑给的晚了一点。
但是这个黑还是拖延了
13秒
一点的时间，
没时间了，得往里面硬进。巨人雨波又拖了一波，想要给烟，但人已经进来，这个闪很重
The
要。
anti-ecos in this region
闪耀包
are
过来，这个闪
abominable.
现有人帮忙加倍打掉了，这分被 DRG 完全
Why do we even
放了
bother
在
talking about ecos?
自己 A 点还是
Like, why do we
C 点
talk about
色上面
who
最后
wins the
的
pistol round or
举棋
anything
不
at
定
all?
反而是撞到了对面的重防的怀里面。
真的太犹豫了，我感觉他们第2环在2个人骗 A 大的过程当中就可以做最后的决断了。
是的，其实，在昨天的比赛里面，我印象当中也有很多这种压到最后。
There's 20 seconds left. The door's about to close, so they scramble, run their way through tree, forgetting to clear behind the tree itself,
没必要。
and lose 2 players to
正
stun
球已
and,
经吸了 C 堂的球已经吸了，
you know,
而且
paranoia
就是他
being
们
thrown
没有
out and
去
stuff.
想 DRG 的角度去怎么看这个问题？看一下这一分 C 堂的方
想抓
向，
C 场，
Oi, oi.
是博卡叔也是直接退了。
All teams follow
哇
EDG
中立不忘的第一波
if they can win, whilst never winning an
拿了但是
anti-eco.
一则收了一个，但是也是
回不去。
人数的置换而已。
看一下博卡叔的位置，博卡叔看到对面的位置。
DRG fought very heavily for that, and they got the win on it. They didn't give up rubble control.
仓鼠已经到了，看仓鼠的选位。
Wow, Kangshu is under crazy pressure there from the aftershock and nade combo.
技能给到点里面逼人出来，但博卡叔错失了机会。
Bukashu wasn't ready for the player to get pushed out of position by the salvos. He started to turn his crosshair away just as CB was forced out of position.
防守方来讲的话，有点困
Good
难。
trade from Guang.
光是确保人数是一个平换，留给了福乐星一个1打3。虽然对面没有怎么捡到枪，但是光其实已经用晚安焰火了。这份赢的方式有非常多，
有烟有黑，
实在不济交晚安焰火其实是稳赢的。但是我觉得现在这个人数他们可以靠架枪去赢。
要踢进去吗？
Oh, he's up.
但已经被猜到了。
哎呦，一个下跳的假脚步。
And it's the classic that does it in the end. So back-to-back thrifties eventually put Nova in the same place roughly that they would have been anyway, had they just converted the pistol.
交流好像没有做得很到位，
对，
因为这两个精准投放是
Except everyone's eco is hurting more.
枪线上，
但是我看出那个时候反而
Bizarre.
对了，
对，
所以就导致这个误打误撞是给了 CB 一个打滑板的机会。
Red Light, thank you for the 43 months.
对来说又找
And
到了
Bookie555, thanks for the 2 months as well. 43 months with this balmy old egg.
防守方经理已经就是崩掉了。
So only Flexin and Spirit have got any kind of rifle here, and they're both playing on the C side of the map. I think it's a win just getting the ult out of Guang in this round or something. Like, if they can get the double ults out, this would be nice. They got the same teleport play. They're doing a similar kind of trap play over here. They're hoping that the Breach is playing for the orb, and then they do a paranoia and fight, and then have a teleport in case it goes wrong. Take the teleport, throw it in the opposite direction, so now they've got a quick TP over towards C. Is this stream watchable on speaker between family members? I would say no. Today, it's actually been pretty reasonable. We haven't been talking about anything weird today. Today, you might get away with it. But it's always a risk. It is always a risk. Depends which family members and what their sense of humor is like as well, I suppose. Why are we again waiting until like 20 seconds are on the clock before we exec, hitting into a site that we have no well, we do have a lot of info on A, so we can assume what's going on C, that it's pretty empty, but I still don't really fuck with the way that Nova are playing their anti-ecos. The way that either team are playing anti-ecos. The way that any team in China is playing their anti-ecos right now. What would an actual 30-year-old egg taste like? You know that... Is it in China, actually, that that's a delicacy? The fermented eggs? Century-old eggs? I don't know how long those actually are. Like, they get buried underground or something, don't they? They get buried underground with some fermentation, liquid, vinegars, and shit. I don't know. Something like that. My wife went traveling around China and she said she tried a century egg. And she said it was horrible. So, wasn't her kind of thing. But different strokes for different folks. Yeah, they cut away because the round was over. It wasn't a winnable round anymore, but it is still relevant in that situation to find out who gets the gun and who wins the duel. So, but it's not like a... You could see what they were cooking. You could see what they were cooking. It's an acquired taste. You're not meant to eat it raw. Okay. It's good when mixed into porridge. I see. Sliggy should be back on the 20th. I guess I can watch this channel before that. Man, HL, I'm going to turn you into a believer, okay? By the time the 20th rolls around, you're going to be like, I don't think I actually want to tune into Sliggy. I want to learn more about Mpreg and the history of Oliver Cromwell and whether or not someone wants to shit or piss themselves. I'm going to turn you into a believer. Alright, 8-8 is the score. Anyone's game, honestly, here. It's not like DRG are playing that well. I definitely think it's absolutely anybody's game to take. Is that Nathan D? Yeah, it is. It is Nathan D. Oh. Okay. Breach ult and Raze ult available for the attackers. Looks like they're going to try and do something fast on B here. And Spirit's going to take an early fight. Does Spirit take a shot and then teleport away? No, he doesn't! He doesn't! He misses the first shot, realizes he's taken a bad fight, and then goes for a second shot instead of going for the teleport. Now, he probably would have died anyway. He probably would have died anyway in that situation. Again, it's not a completely egregious spot, but I've never seen him back down from a fight. I've never seen him back down from a fight. He refuses to teleport. But again, in that situation, he probably dies if he teleports there. Almost certainly. So I respect the fact that he's going to try and get one at least. Oh, body block on Guang's exec. Oh, and he's got hit by a trip. Oh, his teammate body blocked him. There's the breach ult, though. They've needed to expend both of them. That means they have no ult for the post plant here, unless they're Deadlock plants. In which case, they do actually have the annihilation. But they're not going for that. Clear onto Azir. And the paranoia made sure no one could trade. CB needs a kill.
这边再打一个有自己的断魂索道。
欧联欧这个位置得守住，他守不住这个位置肯定顶不了。啊，两个人位置都很尴尬。
Nah, DRG just controlling the angles.
这一分
Cutting them up on the retake.
非常好的开局，但是就是
Nice isolation of Azir in this corner with the retake util. Ideally, Nova were really hoping that the Raze ult just took the site for free and then they had breach ult for post plant, but that didn't work because of the body block onto Guang's exec. So, pretty important 4v5 win there for DRG on the C defense. I think it should be more difficult for them to retake, though. Surely, on a round like this, where you have all of your exec tools, like you have Raze ult, you have breach ult, surely you're trying to get both of your Sentinels deep on the exec to throw down, like, Thorns here, Vice Wall here, Stun here. Like, it should be a fucking nightmare for DRG to be retaking that against double Sentinel. And they just waltzed in. I do not like the way the Tactibear's eyes are bulging. I don't like that. I do not like that. Now, if I could do that to the Penguin, though, if they had a version of Dan the Penguin where you squeezed around its neck and its eyes bulge, you squeeze it. Sign me up. Lukashu taking the timing. Also getting another light up on the trip again, but Guang kills both. Let's see this post plant util. So Thorns deployed over towards CT. Azir caught on the flank. This is where we want to see the Thorns, though. This is where we want to see the Thorns in the wall. You've used the wall for the flank. You've used the wall for the flank. You've used the Thorns early, expecting it to be a flood, and they have breach ult. Wait for the breach ult, and then pop the Thorns. Sliggy would love a wingman version. Can you imagine if it was a wingman, but it was like a wingman kebab? And you were just slowly roasting it over a Spitfire? Like that kind of thing? Again, chat, I've been reading 3 Body Problem, and there was a passage last night that I just read that said, I'm a simple man. If you look down my throat, you can see out my ass. And I thought, that is a wonderful phrase. I'm a simple man. I don't contain too many twists and turns. If you look down my throat, you can see out my ass. And that is just, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. And what I'm thinking there is, that's what wingman's like. So one skewer, one kebab stick. I will say though, the writing is crap in 3 Body Problem. The ideas, they look like they're going in a really cool direction. But the writing is crap. Anytime there's exposition required, it's just 2 characters just talking to each other. Oh, do you remember what happened in the summer of 1966? Wow, yes, it was so bad. Let me remind you what happened, even though we both know what happened. There was a terrible incident at the lab. Oh, yes, I remember the incident at the lab. Like, Jesus Christ. That's not a translation issue, by the way. That's just bad writing, like writing exposition as dialogue constantly. But the ideas are fucking... the ideas and the concept and the plot is cooking. It's cooking. Oh, Spirit again committing to a fight. But that one's different. I mean, the whole team wants to commit to this fight, and he has huge amounts of util, and he just, you know, didn't find his kill. That's not a situation to disparage Spirit. Like every video game, basically? Yeah. Maybe I've just been reading authors that do exposition extraordinarily well recently. But Expositionary dialogue where it's just like two people in a room talking about what they already know drives me up the wall. It's just like such an obvious example of exposition that could be done better elsewhere. Okay, this time Spirit teleports away, gets a kill, goes for the second, whiffs, teleports out. Love to see it. A nice, solid, clean 5v4 advantage for DRG where even the Deadlock ult is out of the picture. Holy, I'm loving it. And now Spirit's going to take another fight, again with a teleport, drone to set up. With the stun, he's not going to clip behind him though, is he? I think they've just thrown a 5v4. I understand what they're going for, and I think they thought they had the timing early enough that Guang wasn't going to be... Oh, it wasn't Guang, was it? It was Obi-Wan. Wasn't going to be tucked in the corner, but if they had just played the 5v4 straight up instead of trying to work another pick there, I think they would have been good. It wasn't necessarily ranked player behavior because they did actually coordinate it pretty well, right? They had the Tejo drone pushes out. Once they find out where the player is, they stun down the line. So like there was a lot of space created for Spirit to make his peak. The problem is just that they got so baited onto the players that were running out of B, they didn't think about the tucked corner behind. But it was greedy. It was definitely greedy. Which book am I on? I'm like halfway through the first book. I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong. I just don't think the writing quality is that great. Oh my god, that's a nice shot. They are over-fighting spots, though, when they have advantages. We need to see a little bit more discipline from DRG, because even this round is now a 2v2, when they were firmly in control there. Nice little tap to try to bait out Nick. I like that from CB and Azir. Vukashu won a 1v2 on the pistol round. Gonna have to do it again.
决策很聪明啊，但是 Vukashu 的选择也很夸张啊！我直接来一手大的，我直接绕最大的。会看吗？一泽，要算一算时间。如果长时间正面不出现，可能就要看。他说知道第二个的位置，看到过头皮的，而且他听到了具体的落位的脚步，看到了一个侧身，静一声，静一声，而对面还要怀疑是不是在走二楼，一个低包近大远小。Vukashu邀你对枪
，and he gets another one, gets another 1v2. Vukashu is the truth. The truth. He's also fucking massive, isn't he?
Good morning.
He's just built.
Will you be staying live and playing 10 hours of Pokemon today?
I will not be playing 10 hours of Pokemon today because I have to go wild swimming in 5-degree Celsius water because it's my wife's birthday weekend and she really wants to go with somebody. The things we do for love. Yeah, tomorrow I'm not going to be streaming at all because it's her birthday. But we couldn't book this on her birthday, so we had to book it today. And oh my god, it's going to be brutal. There's apparently a warm sauna, like a steam room sauna kind of thing. Or maybe it's a dry sauna, I'm not sure. But anyway, some kind of sauna. And then you go from the sauna, where you're feeling nice and warm and lovely, out into the 10-degree weather of the outside. And then you jump in a fucking pond, which is like 5-degree cold water. And then you dry off and go home. And that just sounds like... It sounds wonderful apart from the fact that you jump in the pond.
末日审判交不交？来了，末日审判从天而降，在手臂上接了一个，两边的换人，2换2。
God. All of that was very tight around the tail hold. Teleport past the wall. Smoke back in 3 seconds. Tap to draw out the pull. Well, yeah. You're vulnerable. You're gonna, yeah, just get smoked there. I think the play there was to tap. Draw out the pull, then smoke and stick, rather than just sitting in it and getting vulnerable. But a very tough situation to play anyway against the Astra. This is an average Finnish activity. Finland. Has got to be a lot colder than the UK right now. Why are you going into freezing cold water? 1 away from breach ult. This is their trap play setup. So they're waiting for the orb tap. Then they're going to paranoia, they're going to stun down this line, and they're going to try to fight with Spirit. Fukashu's also taking contact in case it gets too close. There's the tap. Guang is the one to tap it so that he can escape with blast packs. There's no reaction on the other side, though. There is, actually. It's slow, but there is eventually a reaction back into A. It's just matched on the other side, too. Nova not really quick enough to get something going here. They're still going to end up going into the stack. But they're 5v4, and they have rifle advantage, so they should still win. My grandpa used to cut out the ice to go in. Isn't that just a recipe for hypothermia and, like, death? Even if I enjoyed it, you wouldn't catch my ass doing that. Sounds dangerous. Oh my god. Nice shots from Fukashu. They get it done in the end. 2-0. Beating out Nova. I don't think DRG played an amazing game there on Lotus, but I did like what they were doing on Fracture. And I think their Lotus isn't bad, it just needs a bit of refining. Some of the details weren't quite there. Nova, I think Nova's comp can cook on Lotus. I just think that on their attack side, they need to get their Sentinel utility working for them in the post plant a lot more. And I think on their defense side, they what was the big problem on the defense? Honestly, I can't remember what the big problem was for the defense side. But they lost rounds 3 and 4, and that sent them kind of spiraling. And to be honest with you, I can't remember why they lost rounds 3 and 4. Yeah, I can't remember. Can't remember. Practice time. Map ended. Time to run an advert. Yeah, I'm running the advert. Okay, the question is, do we watch the next match? Yeah, I think we do. Why not? Why not? Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. I think the breach is an unusual pick for Nova. But I do think the idea of running Vice Deadlock might work on this map.
EDG? They are built as a team for KK success, and in a meta where the duelist has to sacrifice for the team, do you think getting third shows how strong Edge will be once the meta shifts again, or do you think it will be a slow decline like Fnatic?
Where am I on EDG? First of all, do I accept the premise that EDG are built for Kangkang's success? Yes, but I also think they are mostly built for Kangkang and Chishu's success. So, for example, Kangkang, if all of the resources on the opponent team are funneled into shutting down Kangkang, then Chishu should be able to have a god game. Because he's super talented and also very happy playing an aggressive attack side Sentinel game. So it's not like they're just a one-pronged team by any means. And they've got good supportive pieces as well. Like occasionally Smoggy or Nobody will take over a game too. But yeah, I think they're more of a two-pronged team than a one-pronged team. Having said that, I do also agree with you that this is more of a meta where the duelist needs to sacrifice a little bit for the team. And be playing a bit more like the Yoru stuff, looking for information. I don't think that's a problem, though. I think that from what we've seen in Bangkok, the duelists who are able to play... first of all, you could just be playing like a Durka-style duelist and run all over people and shit on them anyway, just playing Raze and Jet on maps where it makes sense. You don't have to play like the sacrificial Yoru on every map, which Kangkang could easily be running around playing Jet and Raze and pooping on people. And then on the maps where it is good to play Yoru, I think we've seen from instances of like when Hyunmin was playing the Yoru on Lotus, for example, he just had very small windows to hit his like entry and then he had to teleport away. But I still think Kangkang is a good enough player that he can, you know, he can have an occasional carry performance on a supportive role, and that's going to make the team look outstanding. I think it's more to do with the time and effort they put into adjusting to the new meta. I don't think their team is built in a way that can't play the new meta. And also, if the meta shifts, like for example on Icebox and Ascent, I mean Ascent might have some new compositions, but I think Icebox is going to be a lot of old stuff. I don't think we're going to see that much interesting shit on Icebox. So I think, you know, those kind of maps like Icebox, Fracture, you know, maps like that where it actually isn't that much new meta stuff. The duelist can still run around and go crazy. Abyss. You can still have tons of maps where Kangkang can run around and carry. How do you think about Simon on Yoru? No. No, you got to stop cooking. Chat, you got to stop cooking. You've burnt it. Can you watch the Chichu VLR interview? Yeah, sure. We can watch that. While we've got a little bit of time before the next game. Wait, is it the VLR interview from Bangkok with horrendous audio quality? Chichu VLR. Oh no, it's not. It's a remote interview. It's a new one. Wait, it's 8 minutes long. And it also only has 63 views. So at that point, I'm just stealing very important amounts of views from them. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paste the link in the chat, and we're all going to watch it together so that we actually give them the views rather than just me getting the views. And we're all just going to sit here and watch.
With us today. First of all, absolutely monstrous performance from you.
Now, also the problem is there's no way really of me enforcing this, is there? Why isn't closed captions available though? Wait. It is available because they've subtitled it. Wait, they're cooking. Wait, they're cooking. VLR are cooking. It's an edited interview where all of his words are being subbed. Wait, that's sick. Wait, that is sick. So I can just sit here and watch it, even with audio on, and you motherfuckers are going to have to click the link and give them the views in order to understand what's going on.
也是打了这个我们大师赛最好的成绩吧，然后第3，然后自己的发挥也是比较不错的。然后曼谷那边我最主要的印象其实
Hello, YouTube chat exists? Oh yeah, sorry, YouTube chatters. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. YouTube chatter. There you go. It's in the YouTube chat as well. And what if we speak Chinese? Then you've outplayed me. Sync it for us? You motherfuckers. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm at 40 seconds in the interview. I've got it paused at 40 seconds in the interview. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
怎么说呢？就是可能还是没有吃到太多泰国本土的美
Wait, I sneezed. Can we sync again? No.
就是为了防止
No, we
拉
can't.
肚什么的，还是吃的比较点的比较中餐比较多一点，然后汉堡多一点。所以说这个可能是我的一个比较遗憾的一个点。
One of the questions I can't help asking is a match against one of the people that you admire a lot. It's Nuts. And you were playing so solid, you didn't waver in that first match against Team Liquid. Where did you get that confidence? Because I can imagine it's not easy to play against the person you look up to, but you absolutely killed it.
其实怎么说呢？跟他是二番战了嘛，可能邀请赛也打过一次，可能就算是3番战了。然后第一次遇到他的时候，在东京那会儿，其实还是比较太兴奋了，然后让自己有点
That's so cute. That is so cute.
上一次的一些
I was too excited the first time I played against Nats, so I got overwhelmed.
拿了成绩了，然后就比较沉稳，就没有那么过载，然后以及
That's
太过于
very
兴
cute.
奋，更多的就是一个想战胜他的欲望比较强烈吧，然后就慢慢的去做好自己该做到的东西，然后去配合自己的团队以及教练组的一些安排，然后去。
Oh shit, we're missing a Vukashu interview as well, which is presumably in English.
Did it give you extra confidence after you won over Nuts? Because Kangkang on Tarek's stream said,
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe he beat his idol, then he just like a super
Oh,
Saiyajin.
yeah.
The Nuts
That's a
bomb.
lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
其实经历过首尔大师赛过后，我发现其实就自己打得好的一个诀窍就是一定要自信。然后之前世界赛打得不好的时候，其实更多的是因为自己的一个因素吧，自己的心态的一些因素。然后把这个东西给调整过后，更多的就是把自己的心态放到最高位吧，然后去完成好每一场比赛。其实也不是说战不战胜它是关键，就是可能说每一场我都会这么去打。
Players never talk about being overconfident. I feel like there's an enormous gap of
I would say that we saw different versions of EDG.
players talking about when being confident fails. I think there's a bit of a...
Coach Mago at the press conference said
Playing scared is obviously bad.
issues
We can
where
see
you
that.
struggle
It's very
with
visible,
players
very
was
obvious.
preparation and not the best meta read.
But I think
So
when
it looked
people
like you
win,
started strong, but
they
then
attribute the
all
confidence to
the
the
issues
reason why they
started
won without
catching
thinking
up
about the
with
fact
you,
that they found the
and
right
you were
balance
being
as well.
overwhelmed by the teams who played with Yoru and Tahoe
I mean,
for
we were
long
just
time
watching
with you,
Spirit
and
maybe
just
be a
in
little
general maybe had
overconfident
a
in some of
better
these
game
fights.
plan. So let us know if it's
But
true,
overconfidence
and
tends
how
to
did it
be
look like from the inside of the team.
just called like greed or
其实
whatever.
走我个人是我后面也跟他们
Okay, so this is the
更多
question about the
更多是其
the
实
meta
我
at the
们对于
moment as well.
二番战的一些储备不太够，然后对我
We
们的
weren't
第一场
well
打的东西
prepared for a
的调整不太
rematch.
够。我们在二番战里面更多的去陷入了一些自己
Okay.
的东西，然后我更多这个我觉得
I would
这些
agree
东
with
西
that.
更多的来源于我们。
But that's also
这一次
not
我
why
们
they got
中国人其实英
eliminated.
雄池出现了很大的问题，然后我们现在也是在积极的修正这些。
Then again, they did play
这个
two
问题点
rematches to
因
get
为我们的英
eliminated.
雄池没有给到教练组足够大的一些底气，然后让他们去布置一些好的一些战术安排。然后我觉得首先我们二番战输的问题点就是处在
The coaches overestimated the impact of the Yoru Taeho meta. We over-focused on countering the meta. That's an interesting take.
我觉得我们现在已经在很好的去修改这个问题，所以新的赛段，我觉得我们在 EDG 在 EDG 这个问题上面展现应该是不会再那么明显了。
Will we see Coach Mago putting on his chef's apron and cooking?
That's a strange take though, because that also doesn't apply at all to the game against T1. Maybe he's saying they took too much time focusing on that and
pool changes and the introduction of
then
Waylay and
I don't know. I don't really understand that answer from
我觉得
Chushu.
新的赛季的 EDG
I'm lacking the context from being inside the team when those conversations have been played, are being had.
5个人各自拓展各自
Here to seek your blessings before playing EDG? Dude, go and get him. Go and get him.
就会跟上版本的
Get him, HFMI.
就是没有
Fuck him up.
一些改进，然后让我们打得比较怪，然后之后如果把我们个人的问题改正的话，大体上教练组也会更加的轻松一点，我觉得。
If we can fix our individual issues, the coaches will have a better time fixing the strategic issues. Yeah, that's definitely a real HFMI. Gonna drop 40 on Haven against EDG. Be right back. Okay, Godspeed. Maybe don't let him have Haven though.
In your opinion, and how do you rate Chinese scene in general? Is it growing, and is there any advantage?
There are some European casters doing English casting of VCT starting today with a clean feed. Where? Where is that?
一个世界赛的一个节奏的掌控嘛，因为他们世界赛的经验比较少，然后他们更多的只能跟亚太这边的队伍进行训练赛，以及国内的队伍进行训练。但实际上这个到比赛上面的差距是很大的，就他可能在训练赛里面会把握对面的节奏会很好，但其实别人并没有去跟你玩一些真正上的博弈，更多的是磨练。所以说我觉得
Oh, these are just on their individual Twitch channels.
队伍他们需要更多的一些机会去在世界上去进行一个磨练。然后我觉得EDG 主要的优点吧，我觉得就是在于其实我们进入世界赛比较早，但是我们早期的时候对于世界赛的一个把控，其实还是没有像现在的队伍显得那么薄弱的。对，我们第一次打的时候，其实还是有。
I think one of our fundamental strengths is that we have Kang Kang.
有康康这样的自信的选手，他对于一些节奏的把控，他可以帮助到一个队伍整体的一些节奏的走向嘛。然后我觉得现在 VCT CN 很多队伍就缺这么一个自信的选手，所以说我希望就大家如果自信起来的话，可能整个 VCT CN 的队伍在世界上其实是个不弱的一个赛区。
Okay, I see. Thank you. And lastly, any words for international fans who are supporting you and who are admiring your play and want to see you in Toronto and in Champions later this year?
谢谢你们的支持吧。然后我也会继续努力，然后把自己完善的更好，然后让自己的。
I don't think at any point in this interview he actually said that they struggled to adapt to the meta. Did I just miss it? I'm pretty sure the only thing he said about the meta was that the coaches focused too much on countering Breach Taeho or Yoru Taeho, and that led to them not focusing on their own strengths. Now that is very different to we struggle to adapt to the new meta. Ty Glue versus Edward Glooming. you are struggling with that. He said that they struggled with the meta because he felt that age pool was too limited. Oh shit, maybe I missed that then. Maybe I was looking at the chat when that happened. Oh, that might have been when HFMI was spamming in the chat. How'd you manage to snipe HFMI's name on Twitch, by the way? Edward.
所有技能连接起来都会有一些跟之前的决斗位不同的一些体验。
对你像包括最经典的技能组合，那就是配合夜路的终极技能神鬼不绝。你可以看到时光修罗场留人减速控制，然后再配合上夜路的神鬼不绝贴到对方的近距离，然后完成最后的一个击败。
那它的这个控制技能关轮闪爆也是一个新的机制，就是干扰我们所说的，降低对手的一些装备速度啊、射击速度以及它的转向速度。
哎，说到这我就想起来。
Oh, that's not exactly HFMI's name. There's a 2 at the end. 啊。
丢到的这个能量球的这个吸球点，比如说你火啊、KO 的雷啊，然后雷兹的雷啊，都能往往打出很好的这个。
So when he says they need to expand their agent pools,
现在幻冷在比赛当中开发过程当中还是比较。
Who's he talking about? Because Simon looked. I mean, Simon doesn't need to expand his agent pool. He actually looked pretty good on Breach and Tejo. Nobody didn't look that comfortable on Tejo. So maybe nobody needs to improve his Tejo a little bit. Is he really just referring to Kangkang playing Yoru? Is that the main one that he means? Because I don't think he's talking about himself playing Vice. I don't feel like that was an issue for them. I think it's got to be. I think he must be talking about Kangkang's Yoru or maybe the quality of nobody's Vice. Sorry, nobody's Tejo. Kangkang said that he doesn't like playing Yoru. Yeah. It doesn't look like it necessarily fits his style. Look at the tech they're showing here, where you can clear a smoke with the Waylay double dash. I mean, that's cool. But I don't... I mean, that is cool. Is that gonna be enough to see her actually get a decent amount of play? The problem with Waylay is that when you dash in, you are just stood there for ages pulling out your gun. That's the biggest problem. They're showing here the variability of where you can exec to, which is good, but you just need some kind of like stun or hinder or something on the person you're fighting, because if they're able to fight you back evenly, you fucked it. I've seen the Waylay, yeah, the Waylay like animation cancel, super glide, whatever the hell you want to call it. But you're not allowed to do it in pro games, allegedly, which would make sense. That could be a cool exec, actually, on Bind. The dash onto the lower part of triple. But I think you just get killed by somebody over towards bench or showers 90% of the time there. But if you knew that front sight was clear, I mean, you just get killed from somebody over towards backside, to be honest, even with Brim Smokes, I think. Also, Bind isn't in the rotation. Great counterpoint from you, actually. Really smart debating skills. I may have forgotten that Ascent and Icebox are in. Do you think you could use her for double dive comps? I'm struggling to think of a reason why you would go Waylay instead of Jet Rays. Or, you know, maybe there'd be some reason to run like a Jet Yoru or something instead. But basically, why would you run a Waylay instead of one of the other options? That's what I'm struggling with. It's not that Waylay is completely useless. It's what does the comp look like, or what does the strategy look like, where it makes more sense to run a Waylay than something else. And that's where I'm coming up against a bit of a brick wall currently. I think the only way you can accommodate Waylay as a single dive is to have 2 smokes and then have Omen smoke and both of them go into the same smoke. But even then, why not use I mean, yeah, you could do that. I was going to say, why not use the Yoru? Because basically if your destination for the Waylay dash has to be inside the smoke anyway, you can basically accomplish that with the Yoru. But there might be moments where the Waylay is better than the Yoru for that. But like Yoru's ultimate is better in a team environment situation. Yoru also gives you the flashes to be able to get out if you don't have your dash available. Yoru also has the escape ability because you just put your teleport behind you as you scale, same as Refract. So I don't get it. I don't get why you would go for the Waylay. Limbo, thank you for the 2 months. How do you and TMV dodge each other so hard? You missed the gluiest game of all time yesterday. I heard that. I mean, I saw it. I was tuning into TMV's stream a little bit. I saw that there was a ridiculous comeback, and then they were like 12-2 up or something, weren't they? 11-2, something like that, and then they stomped them in the third map. But that was after all gamers had already won a game, 13-11. I don't know. I didn't. Flygist, thank you for the prime. Did you tune in at the end? Yeah, basically. I tuned in like late. I didn't watch any of the first map. I tuned in at the end of the second map and was like, oh damn, this is really close, and then saw that it had been a ridiculous comeback and was like, what the fuck. And then I tuned in at the end of the third map and was like, oh, they're just shitting on him now. How do you think Trace look? I don't know, I didn't watch the game, that's what I just said. Not the map at the end of the stream? Oh, I don't know. Maybe not.
针对某一个人有准备，那看来我们一会儿在场上可以看到很多很精彩的东西了，尤其是可能之前面对到 EDG 很多场比赛
Thai Glue are about to get demolished?
那面对这场比赛有没有
I mean, I hope so. It's kind of bad if EDG make this one close. If Thai Glue suddenly look amazing and this is a great game, then hey, I'm all here for it. But
是的，最重要的就是展现出自己的修炼成果。那比赛加油！
好，那我们也一起来看一下天路战队的先发五虎 VTUU 5CM 字母哥 Nightbody 和 Slowly 啊，包括像其实我非常期待 Solar Knight 对于天路现在的战术的一些梳理，因为他们确实已经是沉淀了一段时间了。
对，其实在这一段时间的休赛期里面，天路不光是有人员的，
What are my thoughts on Nova and DRG?
非常多的一些来去给他们提供新的帮助。
是，我们也来看一下战队数据对比情况。目前因为
I mean, what are my thoughts? DRG played pretty nice attack side, like the calling was good on Fracture. I liked what they were cooking. I thought they had some good like macro ideas. They looked a little bit like they wanted to overfight stuff when they were playing on Lotus. A bit overconfident or inclined to brawl rather than just play their player advantages, which is definitely that's gonna trip them up against other teams. The player quality looks like decent on both of those squads, but not world beaters by any means. And they also, I mean, Nova were playing a bit of an unusual composition. Yeah, a very unusual composition actually on Fracture. Sorry, on Lotus, because they were playing the Vice Killjoy with a solo breach. And they weren't really able to make it work on the defense, and then on the attack side, I don't think they were able to play their post plants properly with their center util. I think they kind of missed the idea, need a bit more time in the lab, but it could end up working out. They look like, honestly, they look like if they were playing in another region, they'd be a middle of the pack team. Like a 6th, 7th kind of fight would be DRG versus Nova. That would be like two teams that are probably going to make playoffs and are kind of scrapping somewhere around like 6th, 7th, 8th. But in China, I think they're probably hunting for like 4th, 5th, something like that. So I think they're probably like 1 or 2 places higher up just because they're in China and the competition's a little bit lower. Something like that. Yeah, I know they were 3rd in kickoff, but that's just what I'm feeling at the moment. I mean, maybe DRG will get 3rd again. Nova just got 1st in a tournament that didn't have EDG or Trace playing in it, so maybe they'll do really well. But in theory, maybe that was a match that's going to decide 3rd place, DRG Nova, but they don't look like a 3rd place team. At least their form right now doesn't look like that. Like, if they went to Toronto playing like they just did today, I think they just get smacked around. A bit like Trace at Bangkok. Did you read Wind and Truth? Yeah, I read Wind and Truth quite a while back. If there was no limit and you could have multiple of the same agent in a map, would any maps have double agent metas? Yeah, almost certainly. But I can't tell you what those would be. I have no idea what the meta would be. Not a clue. But the idea that there wouldn't be any double agents, I think for sure there would be. I just don't know what it would be. Are we able to squeak in an ad before the cooldown? Of course. For you, anything. There's an advert. Brimstone's smoke train onto the site. I was watching a YouTube video a while back, a few months ago, where it was like I think it was 1 Neon versus 5 Brimstones that could only use Brim Molly. But the Neon could like only use a shotgun or something? I can't remember exactly what it was. But the Brim Mollies were just making the whole floor into lava, and this was on Icebox, so the Neon had to like jump around on the high ground above the Brim Mollies. Valorant content creators, they get creative. Mortiray, thank you for the 8 months. Was it Eggwick? I don't know. I have no idea. It just got recommended and I clicked on it. It wasn't somebody I'm subscribed to. The Chinese walkouts are amazing, yeah. But that's also because there's so much more money in China, because there's so many more fans in China, that they can justify having a big ass venue like this, and they can have, yeah, more show days and all sorts. Shit is just popping out there. Shit really do be popping. I would actually not run it like this, though. In a regular season match, I would have the whole team walk out one at a time. Or not one at a time, but I'd have like the whole of EDG walk out and then the whole of Tyloo walk out. And then for playoff matches, I would do it like this. I think it's important to have some level of separation for the feel of a regular stage game in a playoff match. Every match here feels like playoffs. But it makes the playoffs in China just feel like any old game. But it is cool. It just gets a little old after you've seen it happen like 20 times. Did they call him 5 Seam? They didn't call him... HFMI. HFMI. Chinese playoffs is a different venue? Was it last season? I thought they did the playoffs here. Maybe I'm totally misremembering then. Stage 2 playoffs was in a different venue. Right. Yeah, that's cool. Again, that's another sick thing that they can do because they're in China and they can pack crowds into places. Forbody Shorts Gamer, thank you for the 1 year of resub. It's too early to sniff glue, but I guess it's a Saturday. What do I care? Well, do you really have the same issue around sniffing glue that like a wine mom has? Oh, it's only 2 p.m. I can't start my first glass of wine yet. I made a deal with myself. I wouldn't start until 4. That's how you treat sniffing glue. This year's Stage 2 playoffs is in Tokyo for Pacific. Yo, I didn't realize that. Wait, that's sick. I did not realize they were doing that. That's fucking dope. Alright, Tiger Glue versus Erectile Dysfunction Gaming. They're gonna play Fracture, Haven, and Split. HFMI is gonna drop 40 on Haven because he promised me. And yeah, I mean, EDG should be getting a clean 2-0 here. These are 2 maps that are both really, really good for EDG. EDG could even get a 3-0 if it goes to map 3. So yeah, if I was Tai Lu, I'd be looking at the new maps and trying to take EDG there, but they banned them both. They literally banned Ascent and then Icebox, so Tai Lu not looking happy on the new maps in the pool by the look of things, which doesn't make too much sense. In theory, those should be the ones that you have the most advantage on because EDG have just come back from Masters event. But alright, whatever. The lower and grand finals will be in Tokyo. The rest of the playoffs are still going to be in Seoul. I mean, still cool. Still very cool. Would have been nice to see it be a bit more like Masters, maybe, where like the upper finals and lower bracket round before the lower bracket is also played in. So like 2 BO3s are played and then 1 BO5, 1 BO5, but that is an entire extra day of the venue. We get another Waylay! We get 2 Waylays! Kang Kang Waylay! Why the fuck is Kang Kang playing Waylay? Okay, hold on. TMV! You released your video too early! TMV, you released your fucking video too early! Okay. Double Waylay happening here. Now, let's be real. We're going to mostly focus on the Kang Kang Waylay. Because Kang Kang, he's a better player than Nanbody. And also, probably, he's got better ideas of how to follow up on the Breach Teho utility. Having said that, I really don't know whether Waylay's the play here. Shishu's still playing Cypher, by the way, instead of Vice. Which I would say most people are going over towards the Vice, but not going for it. I think the Raze probably clears the Waylay on this map. And honestly, running like even a Yoru or something to bait out the defensive trap plays might even be better than the Waylay too. Because at least then, the other thing too is, even though you can use Waylay to bait out trap plays, you only get 8 seconds of refract versus 30 seconds of gate crash. If you just put the gate crash down, same as a refract, you just drop it on the floor, you have 30 seconds of baiting out a trap play. If they try to do something delayed, or if you're slow to be able to take space or whatever. Whereas with Waylay, you have to put down the refract and then you have to book it forwards to try to get value in those 8 seconds. Alright, let's have a look though. EDG starting on the attack side, looking like they're just going to do an A-split with most of the players coming from drop. We're expecting Waylay to be dashing into halls if these 2 players get stalled out. So keep an eye on Kang Kang. Nobody's going to take contact. Nobody's probably going to drone this. And then we're going to see Waylay dash to react if Tai Lu opt into the brawl. They are kind of getting stalled out though by the Vice wall. They could triple cross through this. They are fucking deep on halls before the dish players. Yeah, okay, so they get past the wall, they baited it out, got past it, without ever being contested. Very passive way for Tyloo to be playing this. They haven't even seen each other yet, really. Little corner does get cleared. Nobody gets cleared, trying to deal with it as well. The entirety of EDG played off-site there, apart from Kangkang. And they all got punished for it. What a strange pistol round, honestly. There was only one fight in the entire round. But, yeah, not really any value out of the Waylay there that you could say. I guess Ninebody was using his refract as he went in to take the duel, but that's mostly just Kangkang getting pushed into a corner, killed, and then they killed everybody running through a smoke, right? They basically just ran an A-exec as a retake. Yeah, Kangkang got salvoed, flashed, and then the people who were running through the smoke to try to flood defend all just got killed. Yeah. Tyloo choosing a passive approach, deciding to play full retake and saving all of their utility for the retake. The anti-ecos. Alright, refract value. Good trade from 5 centimeter. Feel like nobody should have been able to get that kill. Very weak players on EDG. I don't think they realized where the plant was there. They threw those salvos in from HFMI into a weird position. And yeah, another eco round comes through. I guess he's 150 health here, so it's not... I actually thought 5 centimeter was lower HP than that. It's not that bad from nobody. Alright. It takes nobody a while to be able to get that kill, but to be honest, it's just a nice flick from 5 centimeter. But yeah, EDG lose the pistol, win the follow-up. They're ready for the Waylay dash. The Waylay dash onto this little box. Kangkang was holding for it at the start of the round. 4-1 default, Chishu getting pressured. Now, Chishu could definitely get caught here. Yeah, and he does. He goes 1 for 1. But they have the whole of the A side. Should be round over here. Should be. Pan flipping Keck. Thank you for the 3 months. Any cool Waylay plays yet? No, not yet. But we're also only 2 rounds in, really, right? Kangkang is 1 away from his ult. There should be some good things that you can do with the ultimate. Waylay value, Kangkang go kill. I'm not sure I would call that Waylay value. That's only the Guardian. Not worried about losing that. Lifris, thank you for the 4 months. Thank you very much. Does the ult increase teammates' movement speed too? No. In fact, actually, if you catch your teammates in the ult, it applies hinder to your teammates. Anybody caught in the ultimate, apart from the Waylay, gets hinder. Alright, do they have a plan here for... They're 5-person all towards tree. Are they going to ult like this, maybe? And that lets them get into the site with the smoke? What are they up to here? Presumably they're going to be using Waylay ult. Stun, salvos, onto that spot. 5 centimeter caught. Ah, no, they're actually ulting to stop flood defenders. So they ult to stop flood defenders, and then they use Kangkang's speed boost to clear out tower. So if there was somebody in tower, Kangkang's taking a fairly even fight. They might have used another flash or something, I'm not sure. They might have flashed him into tower. Uh-oh. But the Brim is dead, so no Brim molly. The Breach is stuck on site, so they have to use Breach ult to escape. And they've lost the entirety of tree control, so the macro, like, positioning advantage is all for Tai Lu. Oh my god, it's stuck to him! And it's not planted for him. Oh, that's really well played by Chishu. Really well played. Faking the run-up, knowing that he's going to get half and then get off. Still good, though, from the other side. Way to played that one pretty well. Just getting a wider and wider angle, retapping. Nice. What's the significance behind not placing the Vice Wall and holding it for mid-round? They want to avoid it getting baited out. Normally you would do that against a Yoru, but against a Waylay, I guess the Waylay can like dash forwards and back to bait out the Vice Wall.
非常的难受，对于 EDG 来讲。
我觉得还是在信息获取方面，就整体来说，简单讲就是收益不高，终极技能收益太低了。
So, thus far, Tai Lu have showcased 2 pretty good retakes, actually. Taking Hall's control to retake A, and retaking tree control to retake B. That's something that EDG have got to start getting wary to. Hello? I thought they were about to just stand in the aftershock. That's pretty good. I like that. That's a nice saturate lineup onto the door, and then a dash onto it with a flash, and the smoke coming down at the same time so you don't get punished from rafters. That's pretty good. It looks like Kangkang wants to fight this, but without another piece of util. Dangerous. Yeah. Don't know whether that's worth it, really, but he might have been able to get more than one, I suppose. This, though, is a very different situation because they control halls fully, they control sand fully. Like, the positioning is just way better for EDG in the post plan than it was last time. If you remember last time, they had nobody on site. Well, they had one player on site. And they had nobody halls. So last time, all of their post plan positioning was in this circle. And the retake came through halls like this. This time, they control halls, they control the site, they control sand. Yeah, look, this smoke comes down arguably even like half a second late from Smoggy, but in reality, in practice, it came down at just the right time to avoid Kangkang being punished. Good round, though. Good round. I like that. We're seeing Kangkang pull out the Outlaw here because he knows his opponents are on an eco.
技能的这个释放上来说，肯定要稍微考虑一下的。
对，我觉得我甚至认为天路要好好谋划一下这5个大要怎么教。你不可能一个回合全教了，那其实有点亏。尤其是天路这几个终极技能都挺厉害的。
没错，而且其实现在对于 EDG 来讲，整个经济的存量也没有说太多，这分的下枪任务也是很重的。
They're gonna try to melt him? They're gonna try to, I mean, that's so silly, guys. We can't be, first of all, we can't be using our Brim ult, Teo ult, trap combo on an eco round. And especially when we're 4v5, and especially when the target is a Waylay. Come on. That just makes the Waylay look good when that was, even if they got the kill on Kangkang there, it wouldn't have been a good idea. That's some Tai Lu type shit, yeah, because they've just fucked up the rest of their half here. They've just wasted 2 massive plant denial or trap ults.
一下位置 ，slowly 这位置有点尴尬，被3本先收掉。康康直接压到对方的家里了。山姆地线想去找，先找到第1个，再找第2个，没有问题，3杀到手，并且如果我没算错的话，他终极技能应该好了。
刚刚好的2个击杀，又一轮的终极技能会在对面下一个长枪分到来。这是
Well, there's more Waylay B-roll for people.
他的终极技能时光修罗场真的比先锋的这种传统的终极技能都不差。 毕竟它是一个大范围的控制。对。
Any cool Waylay plays? Honestly, yeah. Round 4, 5, and 6 have all been Waylay value.
对 ，Solo Night 叫个暂停啊，确实最近这几分。 我觉得最伤的是上一分本来是个存钱分，丢掉这一分无伤大雅，但是最伤的是把技能交了。
对，2个终结技能的投入反而没有取得任何的成果，而且因为你在 A 区暴露的人员信息太多 ，EDG 是直接大军压。
Well, they have no info either way as to whether or not it's just the waylay there. But also, if you're worried about a trap play and playing an anti-eco properly, it should only be the waylay there. That's how you play the anti-ecos, is that you put your duelist that has the escape button into the dangerous situation, and then if the trap happens, they can escape. That's not...
Holy, I am sniffing for my boys tie glue. 11 AM ISNT early enough for me now.
Holy fuck, I'm sniffing for my boys tie glue. I swear this whole glue thing started as people eating glue, like children eating glue. And suddenly it's gone to like, these players are addicted to glue sniffing. This is... I feel like there's a large difference between a child who likes to eat Elmer's glue and being a glue sniffer. The evolution is eating glue is a gateway to sniffing. Least worried parent at kindergarten. Nice punish. They're doing a lot of just classic flash and dash stuff that they could be doing with, you know, like a jet or whatever, but they're benefiting a bit from the extra range of the waylay. And there's another waylay ultimate. Just pushing back targets, stopping them from being able to contest the plant. The game plan here for Kangkang's ults is to stop flood defense. It's not really being used to open up the sites. They dodge the ult completely. Good read. There's a saturate, but it misses. Oh my god, it doesn't matter though, because Kangkang is fucking him. Kangkang is him. Get the ace. Get the ace. It'd be so good for the YouTube video. Tragedy.
但是康康这一波在点雷游龙已经是打得非常精彩了。
对，而且他其实很细节的一个点是在于知道对面有惊雷卷地，他主动暴露在了这个前期8重的视野下面，再退出点内，让对面的惊雷卷地直接放空，同时借助幻影的灵活性回到了楼梯的位置，一波压枪扫射3杀直接到手。
每一个幻人的梦想不都是这样吗？
哇，这有点幻人教科书了。
对，太丝滑了这一波，每一波对手的一些。
Dude, there's some nice rounds here. There's some nice rounds. There really are. At the same time, though, this is not Kangkang demonstrating that he's really doing anything different to normal. Because I feel super confident that he could be playing Neon or Raze here and be having similar impact. On this map. To address the like agent flexibility stuff, it would have to be a map where we feel like Yoru is super important. Hello. Trying to get the value from the saturate there, realizing the saturate had missed and goes back. A non-committal dash engage, trying to get value from the saturate. I like it. Waylay gets so much more value on this map than other fast agents. You reckon? His neon was zippity zooping. NCDE? Sorry, what the fuck is NCDE? Non-committal dive engage? What are you? What is the NCDE? Non-committal dash engage. Very good. Very good. +2. +2. Oh, I just said that, did I? I accidentally +2'd without even realizing. I get that the Tory thing is a joke, but Egg really doesn't like changes in the meta. You're right. I'm a Valorant conservative. I want things to stay the same.
慢节奏的接触让天路有点受不了了，这波直接还是常规来了个快的哦。
The observing there was a bit difficult to pass. I couldn't exactly tell what happened. I think they dodged the util and were able to swing around the corner and get the punish onto Kankan. I want to watch that again in the replay. Because they did a pretty similar thing to what they did recently, right? They flash and dashed this corner, they smoked the top, and then they salvoed the back area. But there was still a gap, I think, for people to be playing so that they weren't flashed or salvoed. Oh, HFMI was in the salvo. He just stayed in it to dodge the flash and then dipped out of it. So he took like 70 damage or 65 damage and then swung out. Right, right.
追回来1分，而且是在长枪分的拿分啊！现在经济稍微缓一口气。不过5cm 这个终极技能以及 Nabadi 的终极技能好像有点卡手了，没有特别好的机会去释放。对。好，末日审判清典礼，但是
Okay, pressure onto 5 centimeter, getting hard cleared by the Taeho util and the breach util. I don't know. I really don't think you can play tower against a breach Taeho comp. Even if they're not playing Raze. I like the idea of flanking heavy on the retake, but EDG are set up to deal with it this time, and there's no accompanying pressure on the site. They just lost the Vice so early on.
两边其实都在去做临场的调整，有看到其实在针对对面 绕后回防这个点上，这一分也是做了一些特殊的处理，半线配合经典对手。
Look at that site exec. Where do you even stand? Yeah, you can't stand on the site. You have to get off the site, and then you have to try to hop back through the smokes, or wait for the flank to come through and then do a retake. But that's how a lot of rounds work on Fracture, is that there's nowhere to really hold on the site. Has EDG reached every international? Since the Chinese teams have been invited, yeah. I think so. I don't think they've missed one. It'd be fucking big news if they did. Alright, well, Chishu just peeks and kills 9 body in halls. Dash to bait it out? No, just send it. And dies to the classic. I want to see the Waylay bait the wall. HFMI's position here could end up being massive. They're going back into him. Good clearance from Smoggy. Good trade from Nobody. Quite a nice clear out through tree here actually as well though from Way Too and Slowly. Wait, these two are called Way Too Slowly? I mean, that's just a setup for a terrible joke.
那这样只剩 slowly 了，1打3的惨剧。但是这一分结束，无论如何他都会有自己的终极技能，并且关注一下现在。
What was Tai Lu's defense looking like? They played it way too slowly. I mean, fucking -2's echoing off the walls. It's pronounced Y2. Ah, not way too. Y2. Gotcha. That kind of ruins the bit a little bit. Waylay in Urdu loosely translates to useless. More like useless due to being idle. Right. So kind of the opposite of Waylay then. Because Waylay is nothing if not active. That's oh, these team stunned. But the fucking salvos ripped. Where did they put the salvos for them to get that much value? Did they just put the salvos in a line like that?
Nobody 静音拉绳，好像出来的位置应该要被架了。
Nobody's gonna get caught on the rope.
Nobody 完了，这下还没来得及出去，因为你静音拉绳太慢了。
对，而且你在绳索上。
All right, let's see the replay.
没有任何的办法。
Did the salvos just get plopped on the floor?
选边上面来说是堵到了 EDG 的大部分。
25%的概率，4条路嘛，他赌对了。
而且这一波技能的衔接应该是
Kind of, yeah.
配合山崩地陷以及幻龙的终极技能，3个控制技能齐
Fair enough.
出手啊。
All right.
这资源真给满了，我觉得 EDG 这波被堵到了，但确实没有还手的机会。时光修罗场这个技能，它相比于铁壁的惊雷卷地，我觉得更厉害的一点就是它能把你留在那儿。铁壁，比如说你可以震着那个波去直接做一个小小的位移走。
但上半场结束一个8-4的分数
Getting to see some cool set plays.
还是稍微有一点不太够，因为毕竟是自己的选图嘛。
并且。
This guy on Fracture was when you crashed out last year about him just trolling. Yeah, nobody... That wasn't last year though, was it? Wasn't that in 2023? I thought that was 2023. Is that 2024? It was in Champs LA? Right. I mean, he was a walking ult orb. He was just a walking fucking ult orb in that map. I remember it breaking my brain. Would Waylay have more value if the dash was the signature instead of the recall? Would it work the same way where you had to get 2 kills to get the dash back? If it did... Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think it would. I think in a mid-round or post-plant situation, you're getting more value out of the refract after a couple kills to go and try to take more space or fight on another off angle than dashing. I think the recall is probably a bit better if you're in a situation where you've already got 2 kills. If you're talking about, like, it being on a cooldown, if it was on, like, a 40-second cooldown, I think you take the dash. Because then you can do some, like, dash for map control at the beginning of the round and still have a dash for an exec. But if you need 2 kills to get the dash back, I don't think that flies.
并且他在整个回来的过程也是完全无敌的状态嘛，可以免疫控制和伤害。
对，奶宝里2段位移先进到点里，好像吃了一下。
Okay, the trade eventually came through. I was thinking nobody was just going to survive there inside the cage forever. Good coordination from EDG, bullying their way through the smokes, flood defending. And the spike is in a tough position for Ninebody to get. Simon's very weak though. He's about to get stunned back online though, probably. Isn't he? Did he use it at the start of the round? Too good from Kankan. Too good.
相信你出不来，最后的结果也是如此。
有看到其实 EDG 对于幻龙的一波流进速，就是进来的速度其实是有预警的。首先，2楼处的 Nobody 是直接买了。
It would be unreal if you didn't have to prep dash. I also think it would be sick if your gun didn't disappear as you prepped it. Like if you could prep the dash, but it worked like Jet, where you could keep your gun out while it was prepped. It would be so much nicer. The quality of life change would be enormous. Because, like, I'm pressing Q, and Waylay's like, ah! I'm like, get your gun back out, motherfucker! I accidentally pressed Q. How do you cancel it, then? Yeah, good point. I don't think you'd be able to cancel it in that situation. Yeah, that would just essentially be like a better version of Jets, though, yeah. You are right, Shio. You are right. I just think it's at the moment the way that Waylay's dash works is just a bit. It feels a bit clunky because on the defense side, it's so tough to get in a position where you actually want to use it. And on the attack side, it takes so long to pull the gun out after you've landed. It felt very awkward to me playing it.
赛博球龙找机会，2楼塔楼里面球球的位置已经是个名牌，对手一个滑行出来，正义一颗把球球接住，并且 smoke 其实跟对面有点错进错出。
I don't think saturate is useless. I think saturate's very good. It's just that, well, I'm fucking horrible at using it right now. But I think once people have some like saturate lineups and get more comfortable with quick casting it, I think that. Whoa!
转身一颗接住了 smoke 的补强也到，塔楼里已经是名牌了，现在关键是。 这个枪打残局也不是很
EDG with another anti-eco loss. I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't really paying attention to this round. I was thinking about Waylay Theory, so I don't even know how they lost this one. But yeah, the anti-ecos are rough. Tornadoes are coming for my house today. Wish me luck. Historically high risk. What do they tell you to do against a tornado? Do you have like a basement or something? Do they tell you to get in a bathtub? Is that a tornado thing? I think it is, right?
打得很果断，在没有任何技能的情况下面选择了一个错开身位的双拉，是很快的把2楼给清理掉了。
They told me to spin the opposite way.
他又要看北边，又要看南边，但是他这把辽拳在塔楼里面其实没有那么厉害。是。哦，这波想打一个反。
I have no advice for you. I've never been in a tornado before, but I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you're safe.
啊，主要是有振奋性标啊，正义不太好提。
The US is.
我只能这样讲了。
The US is everything that people say Australia is, by the way. People are like, oh, in Australia, everything tries to kill you, and the fucking... It's crazy out there. They got drop bears and shit. And I'm like, dude, everyone in America's trying to kill you. The government's trying to kill you. People on the street have guns trying to kill you. The fucking Earth's trying to kill you. The tornadoes are trying to kill you. The fires are trying to kill you. Jesus Christ. And the animals all have rabies, by the way. It's a hellscape. The food kills you. The corn syrup that they're putting in the food kills you.
没有压力的架枪不会给机会的，6比9，两支队伍的分差已经在逐渐的被缩小。
确实，在进攻边还是能够看到。 这样的一个进攻阵容确实是有非常多的一个一波流进点的机会的，主要还是第一时间前顶的毒点没有打出很高的收益来，在转向 A 区之后，整个点位就完全。
The UK gets hit with the most tornadoes per 100 square miles than any other country in the world. That sounds like impossible bullshit. How is that a fact? Is that technically true? Because, like, the UK owns some overseas territory or something that does get hit? Or yeah, I mean, the UK just doesn't get tornadoes. Are we talking stuff that's too small to even register but is technically counted?
3点爆破先交，但是右边铁匠旁边有人，魏体悠悠先接住了康康，然后被接住了2个，现在只剩 Simon。
Oh, big from Simon, really big from Simon. He kind of, well, not he, but EDG in general, kind of dropped the ball on controlling that aggression. But he's got... Nah, they're not winning this, though, are they? HFMI's on the wraparound. He's got salvos. They have stun, they have salvos, they have positioning control. Tai Lu kind of winning. Tai Lu kind of winning. According to research from the University of Manchester, England averaged 1 tornado for every 4,500 square kilometers per year from 1980 to 2012. I've just... what tornadoes? What tornadoes? There are 30 tornadoes a year in the UK, apparently. Fucking where? I've never... Where? Has anyone got a picture of one of them?
还是说我要去尝试先接一下，或者是通过前顶去化解你的这种南北包夹？
其实天路上半场的问题，现在 EDG 也在发愁，
I'm not saying it's wrong. What I'm saying is I don't understand how my experience is so different to the truth. Is it that the tornadoes are tiny? That's gotta be, I assume, the reason. You haven't heard about them because you live in a tiny village that can only be reached by horse once a month. The tornado would be big news. I would have heard about it. The town crier. Hear ye, hear ye. One tornado landed 5 months ago. And we'd be like, oh, wow, breaking news. We're getting this news real quick as well. It only happened 5 months ago? You must have raced here on horse. Apparently there was a tornado in Surrey 5 years ago. Bro, that research says there's 30 a year. Don't be telling me there was one tornado in Surrey 5 years ago. Where's the fucking 30 a year?
北边的话，这个湖光玫瑰也是可以通过闪的声音提示来获取信息的。
Ninebody walking up, seeing if they can bait out some kind of trap play in A-holes with the refract, and then walking forwards with the outlaw. They have a lurk on the other side of the map, but... Oh, hello, hello. They're realizing that they're fighting arcade. This should be an instant reaction into A, and it is. 5 centimeter goes down, but takes one with him. I think you're okay with that, even though you gave them a weapon because it gave you the A site. Ah, HFMI is going walkabouts alone. Alone. This is how the ecos happen, guys. Why is the game close? Because EDG are actually struggling to defend against Tyloo when rifles are online. And then they win the eco round because it's China. They definitely could have come back into this game, Tyloo, if that hadn't happened. The USA has perfect conditions that form a big tornado. Extremely hot and extremely cold weather meet in the middle. Why doesn't tornado form in my kitchen then? Because when I am cooking with the fridge open, extremely hot meets extremely cold. It does, you just can't see? Oh, invisible tornado. Why is your fridge open? Because I gotta get food out of it to cook? You telling me you cook without ever opening the fridge? This player behind the box so that they're not visible, but could get absolutely cooked from dish. Yeah, Simon's tucked behind this box so that he can't be seen from holes, but he's just open to the dish sideline. They're flooding though. They are flood defending like they did against G2. Visal isn't going to do very much when there's a Brim Molly on the other side of it. Kang Kang Wele ultimate.
现在包很难捡啊！关键铁骑军员的时间已经结束了呀，对面全掏长枪了。这又没有打协同，两个人又看一边，没有商量好。
Why is HFMI peeking before 5 centimeters ready to double swing there? Can we have a little bit of discipline? If we're setting up for the high-low swing.
羡慕是有点想法，他想去上面就是走一个尽量拉开角度的双拉。
It's a 3-man hold. Yeah, I mean they got sparked the fuck out there. But still, you might as well have tried to counter it with a 2-man hold of your own. EDG had a nice high though. And a middle player, as you said. Haldi Honey, thank you for the 71 months. Ninebody dropped the refract in the middle of the site like a toddler pissing himself. That is a brilliant analogy. When you panic and just drop the refract, you just pissed your pants. He's trying to drop 40? He said he was going to drop 40 on Haven. I'm not holding him to it on this map. Is he really called 5 centimeters and not 5 cm? If I see this, my brain says centimeters. Like, if I see this, my brain says milliliters. You know what I mean? If my brain sees this, I'm not going to call him 5 km. I'm going to call him 5 kilometers. Like, you know, I don't know what he intends his name to be. I don't know. But I say what I see. It's capitalized, though? Okay, sorry. So his name should be 5 centimeters! Like that? Is that better? Is that better? Oh, the follow-up, though? The follow-up? Smoggy swings? Nice. More saturate value. Okay. I don't think EDG are actually playing their defense side that well, but it doesn't matter because they got a 9-3 half or A4. Something like that, though. And then they want an eco and that kind of stuff, so. In Chinese, centimeters wouldn't be CN. What do they call... Do they have an abbreviation for centimeters? But I mean, also, that's a bit of a silly thing to say, because this wouldn't mean slowly in Chinese. Do you know what I mean? The players frequently use stuff that isn't based on Chinese, because their names have to be in Latin script. It is CM in China? I am Chinese. Oh, you little shits. Lying and one-guying. Making me believe you.
而 B 点已经是可以进点了，不过远距离3分架住了对面携带爆能器的人，而其他的人还有
This game's over. This game's cooked.
正面反而是 EDG 的落位先到。哇，这一手声东击西被 EDG 釜底抽薪了。再给一颗燃烧榴弹，怎么捡啊？
Why is it always got to be a guy, though, for the one guy? I'm using guy as a gender-neutral term, which I understand is weird, but at the same time, like, the word guy is weird anyway. Calling a group of people Guy because Guy Fawkes was called Guy is already... That's already mad enough. Just say a glorp. I do like the idea of getting one glorped. What's up, glorps? Glorp feels like a nice gender-neutral word. Is that really the origin of the word? Yeah, the origin of the word is because... So you got this guy called Guy Fawkes, right? He's a Catholic from, I think, England, who went to Spain, kind of got radicalized, came back to England to try to blow up the Houses of Parliament because Catholics at the time were basically being treated as second-class citizens. The history of the UK is like, it flips between Protestants are getting oppressed, Catholics are getting oppressed, mostly Catholics. And at all times, the Jews are just getting ruined. There are, I mean, any time in history, anywhere you go in the world, the Jews are getting ruined. So that's kind of like, you know, that's a given at that point. But in terms of Guy Fawkes, right, he's a Catholic guy that tries to blow up the Houses of Parliament because he wants Catholics to be in charge. It's not necessarily, by the way, that he wants like fair. He doesn't want equal situations between the Catholics and the Protestants. I think he's straight up just like I want Catholics to be in charge and we should actually be the ones oppressing the Protestants. But I don't think he's necessarily like a freedom fighter or whatever. But he tries to blow up the Houses of Parliament. So I think they hang him or something. I'm not exactly sure how they execute him. But then in the future, they build these bonfires and they put effigies of him on them. So you burn like a straw guy who's literally named Guy after Guy Fawkes. And then there's so many of these straw people being made that they just call them guys. You know, if you have a straw man, it's a guy. And then at some point that turns into calling real people, real blokes, guys. Just because they look a bit like straw people, and the straw people are supposed to look like this bloke called Guy Fawkes. I probably got some details on it wrong, but that's the general gist anyway.
让天路的节奏完全崩盘了。那我们也可以一起通过 EDG 的沟通交流来回顾一下他们在使用。
So the word guy is the original straw man? I mean, I think effigies predated Guy Fawkes. They didn't come up with the concept of an effigy and burning it for Guy Fawkes. So in an alternate word, guy is for women? Well, I mean, if Guy Fawkes had been a woman, sure. What the fuck is a bloke? Do Americans not say bloke? Bloke's a fantastic word. Bloke just means a human male. A bloke. Bloke equals dude in American? Kind of, but I feel like dude has a bit of a connotation with, like the type of person. Like, would you call Trump a dude? I don't think you'd call Trump a dude. But he's a bloke. Actually, I suppose he's not. Bloke does also have something to do with the personality. Bloke, but like dude culture is more like either what is that movie called? The one about bowling? What's the fucking movie called about bowling where it's like the guy is kind of like defining dude culture? The Big Lebowski. Yeah, the Big Lebowski. Like Big Lebowski or someone who goes surfing. Those are the two things I think of when I think of the like stereotypical dude. But if you think of bloke, you're thinking of like a working class guy who goes down the pub who's just like a alright guy to be around. Just like, he's a bloke. He's a bloke. He likes doing guy things. Stereotypical English male. He likes drinking and football, and he's just a fucking bloke. So like, yeah, if you said Trump is a bloke, I think that'd be a bit weird. But you can definitely use it as a generic term as well. Same as dude. Run an advert? Advert being run. RJ, I'm on it. Yes, ma'am. What about chap? Chap's a bit more upper class, or at least upper middle class. But again, can be used as a generic term, but it makes you sound a little preppy. It makes you sound a little upper class yourself. Bloke equals lad? No, lad is definitely more that. So, like, a lad would be, like, likes going out on the town, likes chatting up women, likes, I don't know, drives a fucking loud car and stuff. Oh, he's a fucking lad. Like, that kind of thing. Like, bloke is a bit more... Well, it's older, for starters. It would be the generation above, and it would also be a bit softer version of that as well, I think. But yeah, you could also just use it as a generic term for a young guy. Like, you could call a small child a lad. Oh, a wee laddie. Oh, look at him, the wee laddie. You know? Lad, lass. I think come from Scottish slang for young people. Farmer Maggot is back. Lad has a split evolution into either a bloke or a geezer. Now, a geezer, I feel like a geezer is a wheeling, dealing, yeah, I mean, the guy trying to sell you coke, the 40-year-old guy in a flat cap trying to sell you coke at the back of a club is a geezer. Ardis is a geezer? Yeah, Ardis is a geezer. Geezer is cool, though. There can be cool geezers. Like, I would say the people from Only Fools and Horses, I think they're geezers. A geezer means an old person around here? Well, if you said old geezer, then yeah, that would just be like a generic term for an old person, I think. But if you're like if you're in like your 40s and 50s and you're a geezer, that implies more about like you're a bit of like a grifter, a slick individual kind of thing. Yeah, a bit like a hustler kind of thing. But it's also just like a attitude as well. Quantum, thank you for the 12 months. Tori teaches us UK history. Yeah. When I think of geezer, I think of the pyramids. Yeah, that's a -2. That's a -2. Thank you for keeping on track of the -2s, RJ. You're always there, ready to throw out a -2 when someone throws a bad joke. Does that make you an egg bloke? I think of all of the words to describe me, I think bloke could be the closest. I don't think I really fit bloke, but I think that's the closest. Where are all of your Elden Ring broadcasts? Those are on my VOD channel. Yeah. RJ's on it. Can someone explain where the +2 came from? Yeah, +2 comes from Germa, who was doing a stream where every time he had a good bit, they would add 2 minutes to the stream timer. So his chat would vote on whether it was like a good enough bit to add to the timer. And then the +2 itself just kind of became a good bit indicator, which is used pretty heavily in like Germa community, Northern Lion community. I don't know. I guess in a vast stream, people used it quite a lot as well. It's not just for like big streamer stuff, but it is that kind of, it's that kind of area of Twitch, the Germa adjacent Twitch. Super stream? Yeah. Super's never seen a +2 though. Ben1812, thanks for the 47 months. Oh yeah, they're not organized. I've just spit them out in a random order. But I will at some point put them into a playlist that's organized. You're Germa adjacent? I'm Germa tangential. If you're a deep cut Sideshow viewer, you will know that I did do occasionally some things with Germa, but not a lot. I did like 2-3 streams with Germa ever. I can't even remember how many. But that was back in the TF2 days when Germa was only just starting to branch out into getting like super big on Twitch. It's not mainstream enough that you'd hear Kai Cenat say +2 in the chat. It's also just not Kai Cenat coded, I don't think. It's a very different part of Twitch. Like, surely Kai would just be like dub, like he'd be spamming W's or whatever. It's just different. It's different language for different parts of Twitch. Now, I've said this before. This is an already used bit.
What will it take for you to play mouthwashing?
What the fuck is mouthwashing? Thank you for the 100 bits, Red Light. I have no idea what mouthwashing is. I've already done this bit before, so it's not a +2. But we need to start a community that is the L streamer community. And it's just...
Do you think Riot's insistence on having every global tourney group
it's just
match on stage hinders them? I remember old Dota tournaments with 16-man full round-robin group stages and 4 streams running at once.
Yeah, do you remember how old those Dota tournaments were? They were in like 2012 when people were happy to have their viewing habits like that, and people didn't care about selling stream against large quantities of viewers. Like that, that's not. That is not a good way of running an esport at the moment, Mortaray. It's even if it led to a better viewing experience, it would just be impossible to monetize that. Yeah, I mean so I want to start the L streamer community, and it's the streamers that you love to hate. Like, for example, Super could not be called a W streamer, even though he's an amazing streamer. Super is one of the best streamers out there, in my opinion. He's not a W streamer. He's not a +2 streamer either, in my opinion. He's an L streamer. He's the streamer that you go to because you love to antagonize. You love to fucking go in there and you love to fucking dig at him and nibble away at him like a bunch of fucking rats in the chat. and then you piss him off, and then everything he does, you love to say, oh, fucking L, you're so dumb, you're so stupid. So that is that kind of community. Squeaks, Ludwig, and Sea-Dog have that locked down. I think their stream chats are still too supportive. Too supportive. That's a lol cow. I don't even know what a lol cow is. XQC is the Alpha L streamer? I guess he kinda is, but fuck, that's not what I'm aiming to become. I'd like to be the opposite of that. What is a lol cow? I don't understand what a lol cow is. Giving EDG a tackside haven? This is already over. The reaction streamers?
一般来说，你这种车库比较靠前的线，一般附近都是没有人的嘛。
但 EDG 上来很求稳啊，40秒的常规默认，然后再去反控制 A 场。
Lol cow is an old term for a cow that you lol at. That is so like 2001 coded. That's like some ancient shit that people would be putting on. I don't know. Like pre-social media shit. It's someone you can laugh at forever, like a cow that produced lols. We gotta change that word. I don't like. That should have died out decades ago. Genuinely, 2 decades ago, we should have stopped using that. It's old 4chan shit? I mean, that seems extremely tame for a 4chan word. I would expect them to be using much worse vocabulary to describe somebody you enjoyed laughing at repeatedly. Back when being edgy on 4chan was just, I don't know. Laughing at people for falling over in the street or something. 4chan didn't transform into that until like 2012-ish. They used to say epic win. God, the naive youth of 4chan. Not that I know or remember that, but I'll believe you. Waka, I'm actually like legitimately thinking about that currently. I think one of the crucial differences for me is that I didn't feel comfortable going and working in China because talking at all about the problems is a massive no-no. Whereas talking about the problems in America is like a day-to-day. That is actually what I'm doing constantly. Having said that, the fact that the US is now looking to deport people for participating in protests about stuff that isn't even related to the United States, though that would be bad enough, obviously, but is now looking to revoke green cards, which they don't even have the legal right to do, by the way. But they're directing law enforcement to remove people, like, and have them be arrested and detained without charge for a huge amount of time for protesting for Palestine is utterly horrendous. Utterly horrendous.
好的，那双方来到第3个回合长枪。哦，这一把 EDG 又是只有2把长枪。
So.
直接提速，刚刚脸上封个顺。
Yeah, it's a massive no-no in China, in Thailand too. Yeah, they have the lèse-majesté laws, but at the same time, Thailand is not currently committing a genocide inside of its own territory, right? Whereas China has both, which is why I didn't want to work there. And America is now basically getting on the fast track to having both as well. Not that it's committing a genocide inside its own borders, but it's been the most heavy political defender and funder of a massively active genocide and ethnic cleansing right now. And the person in charge is actively calling for the ethnic cleansing and then deporting people who protest it. It's terrible.
在对面第一时间进到 B 区之后，他是立马过来加烟了，而且2个角度抽烟的方向他都架得很精准。这个闪身枪也是非常的关键。
对，回马枪打得也很漂亮，并且奶宝里他其实从出道的时候是一个决斗型选手，
Yeah.
所以他转到
Anyway,
枪法也是非常硬。
let's focus on the game.
主要还是去为团队的阵容做了一些妥协吧，因为毕竟霓虹这个英雄可能5cm 的熟练度更高一些。
But yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it. Don't get me wrong. All right. I'm expecting this to be EDG destroying, but if they lose this round to a nice little reclear in A long, Smuggy's teleport though into A heaven might have just cleaned this up for them. They were stomping people last time we saw them play Haven, but yeah, they're missing the timings now as well. Oh, and he knows where the last player is as well. He knows they're somewhere on site. In fact, I think he knows he's Heaven. Seems like he's got a very good idea. Dies in 2 bullets from the Phantom at this range.
因为爆能器是在对手的视野掌控之下的，时间非常充足，他甚至可以直接再挂机30秒。
但问题是现在明拍看到了爆能器的点位 ，Navadi 是大概率不会漏的。他就算从2楼走下来，走到这个点内，也会有很多 timing 给到对面去捡包。
他就看包呗。你肯定是要捡包的。Nobody 好像想给对手一个错觉。
对我绕 A 大了，但其实我还在 A 小。
是的。 因为我长时间不漏，你都要两边来回看嘛。
对，现在 Navadi 确实也是需要两边来回去盯。
2位 body 的对决啊，来看一下。
He wins the round in the end. They both just stayed in basically the same spot the entirety towards the end of the round, and nobody ends up winning. That was a really good try though from Tai Lu. I think that they had the right idea there. They look like they've got a good idea of what they want to do against this fast take from EDG that was basically just running everybody over. And they nearly pulled it off. Nobody wins a 1v2 towards the end and they end up winning, but, you know. Unfortunately, I think that means that they're now knocked onto a low buy.
3比1的比分。Loli 自己是只有一把正义啊，因为他在后面打技能，长枪都是队友来用。
这点还是常规的去给了一些压力。
EDG 肯定是想打多波接触，打1波接触，霓虹毕竟多个闪电弹球嘛。
他现在铁臂不在 AB 连，如果 EDG 过来反扑 A 场的话，没有人能够去帮到5cm，他只能靠自己的闪电弹球来操作。无人机已经来了，
山姆弟现在想去抓，但霓虹很灵活啊！哎呦，这暗眼也推了 ，EDG 的诚意是拉满了，但是好像追是真追不上霓虹啊。2楼楼下，字母哥选择直架吗？闪神看到了对面的截锋，康康的位置暴露了，但。 EDG 醉翁之意不在酒，他想转。
But now Tai Lu seem like they're over-responding to the A pressure. They're so worried about this. Now they need to re-clear through their own smoke. And by the time they've done this, they're just going to be able to react in the opposite direction. So, unfortunately, Tai Lu might have over-indexed here in just shutting down the A hit. But we'll see. Maybe they have a really 6C retake, and that's why they've overstacked towards A. They have stun, flash, paranoia. They still have tools for this. When does the recon come back online, though? Not for a while, right? Not for like another 25 seconds. Oh! Okay. Alright, well, they just killed everybody. I thought it was pretty impressive that 5cm managed to get 2 there, and then everyone else just died instantly. So, there you go. Destroyed.
但在架枪这个点以及枪线的铺设上面 ，EDG 真的是每次都处理得很谨慎。
关键他全架住了，这就没道理。再来看一下5cm，其实这一波已经打得很凶了。后续，
哇，这颗单向的瞬移其实给的很好。
Yeah, the UI shows you the primary and secondary weapon when it's in the buy phase. I'm still wondering whether I like it. I think the default opinion would be more information equals good, but on eco rounds in particular, I find it a little bit confusing. Then again, once you get into here, I think this is much cleaner. Where you just see the main weapon that people are using. It is kind of cool to see like the secondary weapon being a shorty or a sheriff, or I suppose the secondary weapon being a sheriff though doesn't make any difference unless they're running like Bucky sheriff or whatever, Marshall sheriff. Ah! They only added that because Vice exists now? Yeah. Yeah. Yoru, I just assume Yoru always has a shorty if he's ulting. But the Vice ult stuff, yeah, I suppose it'd be good for that. We could just have all this information in a replay view and get rid of the clutter in the live feed? I don't think that really tracks. Just because you could see it if you bothered to go into the replay view, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to optimize the live experience. But like, way more people are going to watch these games live than in the replay. I would imagine if they release a replay viewer, less than 1% of people will use it. Doesn't mean they shouldn't. I think they should still release a replay view. But it's not going to replace live features. We got one more round, the next LG and DRG combined. I think Tyloo could still win a couple more here. They look like they have a decent understanding about how EDG are playing. They're just either overcommitting in certain areas and then EDG pivot, or they're losing 1vx situations or something. The game is over. I agree with you, Rakshi. The game is over, but I'm tired of asking for replays. I want a future viewer where I see if the game I'm about to play is worth playing. I want to see who's going to win VCT without having to watch. Genius! Set it up like the Minority Report. We can just crown the winner at the beginning of the year. Agent 472439p, thank you for the gifted sub. Why? I don't understand the connection. Why do they call HFMI woke? Because his name... Like, I understand calling him Alphabet, but I don't understand where do you get the next step of that to woke? I don't get it. Oh, he's whiffed. Wait a second. Winnable for Tyloo. Especially if Smoggy takes a while getting that kill. Oh, good stun as well. Okay. That was a sloppy round. EDG trying to force it on the A and then coming back through the breach shot. Oh, Alphabet and then being like LGBTQIA+. I missed the connective tissue there. Right, I see. Oh no, you're saying that was a joke. Oh, so that's not the reason. Because that would actually make some sense if that was the reason. That would be a multi-layered joke. I don't understand how else you get there.
没想到一起去。Simon 被 Nobody 抓了一个机会，直接收掉。那现在
Right, that was the reason. It was just a joke about it. I got you.
想要打一波的话，没有控制技能的帮忙了，只能看 Smokey 的这手暗眼。还是我觉得先摸一摸。
Has he ever released why he called himself this, by the way? Like, actually?
防守的落位。但 C 区的这个战术监控其实是车库的人应该不太能够预想到的。往前走的话会漏脚。
To fuck with people? He did say at one point that it contained some, like, hidden meaning about his career. And I, at the time, was like, well, that is bullshit. But I wondered if he had ever given any details or something. He's trolling you? Yeah, I think he is. I think he is.
上面的零给收掉，那现在关键绕后也到了 ，EDG 现在腹背受敌2v4，假低一下包，5CM 是一个回旋跳拉出来了。
Nobody again making the play to win the round, but I think it's too late there. I think it's too late.
肯定是有点来不及了。3比5，天路继续再追分。
哇，天路突然这一手变招啊，在中路的一个前顶，确实是让 EDG 有点没有预想到，因为前面球。
I remember him trolling in interviews saying, "Good luck, casters saying my name."
稍微有点没想到这一波会有这么多人来，球球一个人拉出去直接是被。
One day we're gonna get a player though. The next evolution of this, by the way, is having a player with a name like that and saying, "But I want to go by Jim."
对，而且他们突然这手。
And like their actual name is something totally different. Like their actual name is Mohammed or something. Their written name is blah, 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 and then they're like, "I want to go by Jim." It's like, you know what I mean? Just at the end of the day, what would he have to do in that situation? I don't even know. Literally Kang Kang? No, because Kang Kang is related to his actual name, right? I'm saying all three would be different. The written, the pronounced, and the real name would all be completely different. Some of the Fortnite players were like that. The closest we had was somebody called that, and they wanted to be called Pizza. Because I guess originally their name had been Pizza, but then they shortened it. But I can't think of anything that was worse than that. Yeah, was his name ZZA? I thought it was just ZA. K-Knight being K-Knight? But at the same time, that is like the word knight is a valid English word. So that's not too far out. British ass said Z. Yeah, I fucking did.
稍微脱离了一些常规的位置啊，这个半线更加靠后一点。
In Rocket League, we have RW9 pronounced Rawas. Rawas? I guess it's not raw ass. That would be weird. Rawas. Rawas. And why is that? Is that because it just works differently in Arabic? Like, is it somehow that the 9 is similar to an Arabic like word or letter or something instead? Dude, Tyler are in here. They are in here.
你别说，这两根线还真有说法，因为它可以确定所有人的站位都是在包点前侧的，暗眼加上山崩地线，配合一个闪以及狂烈之怒，4个技能把整个 C 区前点完全覆盖了。没空去看车库啊，这前面技能太多了。
Cool fast retake there with the overall through garage.
哇，这手我觉得
The quicker you can play against DDG, the better you're going to be, I think.
确实是有一些小设计。
而且这个狂烈之怒的收益也很高，直接射死2个。 天路逐渐又找到了比赛的节奏哦。
对，感觉今天确实赛。
Anti-eco. Tyloo, this is where you were in a pretty similar situation on Fracture. You looked like you were in the game, and then you let it slip because you couldn't convert on an anti-eco. I do not really like the way that Y2 played that, but he got the kill, so that's what matters.
木板后的阵一片的，谁也活不了。这太急了呀 ！EDG 现在这2分打的。 闪电爆破想去清点后，但是有枭雄无人机来保驾护航，
包都不太好低啊，现在
没有机会下呀，关键。
Yeah, I follow some linguists on like YouTube Shorts, TikTok kind of stuff that have got a lot of information about Arabic and different types of Arabic and how you're kind of guessing what the vowels are based on the context and stuff. It does seem like a fascinating language.
补强的效率和补强的这个思路还是做得非常清晰的。
对，主要这一波有点可惜在于 EDG 第一时间小到的那个1v1没有抓到机会。
The trivia is HFMI googled a random password and used that password as the username. That's not true. There's no way. We had a guy in Fortnite who had like 2 prefixes and 2 suffixes from other players. So imagine a player called Jorg ZMJ Oreo Fishy Pass. You would want to call him Oreo, but Oreo was actually another player and his gamer tag was actually Jim, but he wants to be called John and his teammates have the exact same setup. That's so fucked, man. That's so silly. Alright, they're going to go for a bit of a reclear, and now EDG are already ahead of it. Now that is nice. That is adaptation. EDG have been doing a fast A-long hit, and Tyloo have been doing a delayed reclear. So this time, EDG fake like they're doing a fast A-long approach, and then hold, waiting for the reclear and kill both of them. They tuck bricks in anti-flash positions, waiting for the reclear to come through, and then they pop out themselves. Nice adjustment to get the lead in the half. Yeah, 5's very good against EDG's attack. Fortnite players will just randomly swap their names to shit like Sentinel's John Pork, so casters have to deal with that as well. Yeah, I mean, we had to deal with that in TF2, and then eventually somebody made a plugin so that you could take their names and just make it whatever you chose. So like the players on Steam could be called John Porkinson 1992, but the HUD would still read Sideshow. Do you know any words in Arabic? No. I'm not a polyglot. I don't have a fucking. I'm barely literate in English. Wow. Soverall, right at the beginning of the round, completely destroyed what Tyloo were trying to do there. EDG brute force it through A again and get the win. They're very good on this map with the small adjustments. They just went for a really like slow controlled approach to A-long, and then they're like, all right, let's mix it up, let's send it with this overall. Okay. 1v5 ace. No. Want to learn a swear word in Arabic? No, I don't. Because that's going to involve you typing a lot of swear words in Arabic in my chat, and I don't know how offensive they are. Why are you not streaming on YouTube? I am streaming on YouTube. I'm just streaming on my Valorant channel. Hello, Sam. See? There are people on YouTube.
而且他们也会在这个守点位置英雄上做一些小轮换，像比如说有些时候霓虹会突然去到 C， 然后幽影来 A 这样的一个转变，这样你比如说你想去抓一些固定位置的英雄也会有困难。对。
Grashnin, thank you for the 48 months. Thank you, thank you. See you, Kirito. How good has Simon been recently? Honestly, Simon, when he goes to the international events, always frags kind of low. Like the 2 events that he's been, he just hasn't fragged that well. But the value from Simon is his coordination and his supportive utility with the rest of the team. And it's really good. Even at Bangkok, his supportive utility was still really good on Breach. I think people like to hate on him because his KD is shit. And it is. Like, his fragging is not great. And he frags better in China, so maybe some of it's nerves, maybe some of it's, like, the improved players he's going up against. But he's not the reason that, like, EDG were bad at Bangkok. And I say bad, they ended up in, like, 3rd place, but, you know, they kind of bombed out after making it past T1 in the playoffs.
在心态调整上面来说，还是会有一些建树的。
对。而对 EDG 的防守边来说，其实
He's like Ethan on EG 2023. No, he's more supportive than Ethan, I would say. Ethan's still got his fragging moments. I'd say Simon is even more supportive than Ethan. He's very focused on utility usage for his teammates. Simon was the key in champs. I mean, he was incredibly good at setting up, especially Kankan. Yeah, it's like having a pocket medic. Simon's running around like a pocket breach for Kankan. You're going to tell me the medic needs good KD? Maybe in this game. This isn't TF2. But that's a bit more of the style he plays. He's a Discord kitten. Yeah, he's a Discord kitten.
C 点打的 fake， 对，他确实拉住了一个人回来。
但问题你连烟都不给啊，这也太。
A 点直接来，他就是想让你晚回去那么几秒钟。看一下这个战术监控，亮着一瞬间找人，找你罚标，哎，
踩半线了，正好切了个刀。
而且球球跳下来，有队友的阵，3本的阵给到了，球球的枪也补到。但奈保底也找回了2个人数差的场子，闪点爆破把你逼到背闪。回调的准心来不及，
但是看不见包，
太慢了。这个爆能器不是给字母哥安装的，但他不能漏脚步，漏了脚步一定没机会。爆能器已经被拆完了。
The flank where it's not planted for you in the 1v2 is going to be pretty fucking difficult to get past. I think it might be Jova here. It might be Jova.
我觉得没办法，因为铁臂这个山坡地线给的真的很好。
挣到2个人，而且5cm
If Tyloo won the pistol, it's a really nice defensive setup as well, because like you put crazy amounts of pressure on the default plant, and then you hope that they plant under heaven or whatever. And then if anyone does get into that or tries to scale into hell, Chishu's there inside the smoke. That's where you probably need to do some VOD prep. Realize that Chishu loves running trap kill setups on A and put a deeper smoke that he can't sit on the windowsill.
首项局胜率又是稳定在了56，这次的起枪上来说就偏多了，其实4把枪，毕竟还是防守边嘛，而且这张图3个点位你要分兵作战，要保证每个点位都会有一把。
You should try Pokemon Rocket Edition. You get to be an evil Team Rocket member with a different story who can steal Pokemon. Wait, that sounds like a cook. I don't think HFMI was stunned there. I think he had to hit the shot for them to win this eco round.
其实 EDG 的警觉性做的还是很高的，球球帮康康看到了背身，半线打掉，知道有人就在 C 点点里了 ，A 点已经压出来了，
没有选择低包啊，那这样对枪
Okay.
4值这种距离
Let's have a look. Can they win a rifle round?
在这一
Can they win a rifle round?
对，而且这一波正好 Simon 是靠 C 的，以及康康也在进车库那一瞬间，山坡那些
Bio UK, thank you for the 3 months.
他也不想躲，他
Shut up and take my money.
他也补不了枪，没办法。
Will do.
那来到长枪分了，这对于天路来说是非常关键的1分哦。因为虽然是在进攻端，但是他们现在急需要拿个1-2分来去先把。
Only nobody on A. I don't think they were expecting this to be an A hit.
哎呦，这远距离还挑了枪头。
那这样的话 ，Nobody 感觉这个位置有点不想放了，再垫一下，血量有点不行了。
哎呦，这一下，5cm其实心里也慌。
He did so much damage.
Nobody 这手就是在预判你会跳到右边啊，
and bought so much time just by puffing himself up and making it seem like he was confident.
但是5cm没血了，谁来突破呢？有点尴尬了。
And now he's gone to drone mid, and now there's 3 players defending A.
可能要考虑跟大部队一起包团慢慢推进去了。
A 小道留了一个 VTUU， 大部队走 B 点正面。
My screen just turned off. Alright, it's back.
直接进了，高速通道，掩护一下。哎呀，
Sending your weak player in first. Obviously, they're the duelist, but
关键就是，哎， 但是 A 小
Poor 5 centimeter. Took so much chip damage this round.
携带爆能器的队友摇到 A 区来。
就看他敢不敢往对面的重生点
They have managed to work this lurk though. Don't overface, don't overface, don't feed, don't feed, don't. Oh.
哇，有人在跑打，有人在蹲守。
You've already secured the site for your team. Just call for them to come back to you, and you kill anybody who tries to rotate in.
但现在防守端的 EDG 依旧是一个人数优势，听到了剑影的声音，两个剑影过吗？
再回头过来看，这是一把雄鹿，拉开距离 ，OK。
They're still going to win the round.
接住了
Good shots by Slowly, and important kills by 9body. But I don't like some of the decision making there.
前后的拉扯做得非常好
God
已
damn.
经很警觉了，两个剑影过 B 点，但最终还是被抓到了。
先回看一下这一波，开局其实 Nobody 借助雷击剑以及害灵是拿到了一些优势的，而且中路的反清也很漂亮。但是 Nobody 这波有点不讲道理，他是在闪落之前看到了0.。
I wonder if they should have gone back to fight 9body. I mean, I don't mind the decision for Simon and Nobody to fight forwards, but they didn't actually manage to take a 2v1. They just took 2 1v1s on A. Kang has the AWP. He's taking it down A long.
对对对，康康端明局了，现在才是对天路非常有考验的。
Into garage.
而且这一分 EDG 是把经济掏空了，几乎。
两边其实现在经济的状况都不是特别理想，这分有一点点决定下半场的走势了。
对 ，A 打压出来了，至少知道你 A 点大厅或者 A 小到近点是没有人的。看这把明狙，这把明狙有人在加，闪身看到肩膀了。
Going for the peek onto the angle, just finds the elbow of Slowly. They've lost garage info though. No trip, no cam. They don't really have a clue where people are in garage. Oh, did Smoggy just catch a glimpse? Yeah, I think he must have done. Oh, 5 centimeter doesn't even think with the Omen smoke up there. There could be somebody in back plat. Not even looking?
抛出来之后，天路最后的2名选手也有点尴尬。
我觉得宝枪了，但康康好像不想给宝，狙都已经压到这儿了。Smoggy 在推手暗眼，狙可以出来收了。
哎，好像他看到了，看到了，
但是全黑。
Too easy for them. Too easy for them.
这样的对枪给到 Smoggy 没什么太大压力。
I was just talking about that earlier today, Carnage. I don't know what the sound is.
对手想提速就不太可能。
而且摸 C 的时候也是有点被打信息差了吧？ 球球在车库一漏，5cm 连点都没搜就直接过来了。
If Ty Glue was playing a team made out of glue, he would win. Obviously, you would think that Ty Glue have an advantage. They would simply be able to eat the other team. But how much glue can they actually eat? Is a full team too much? I think that's a really important philosophical question that you've raised. Massively important question. I think Thai Glue have actually not been that gluey today. They've been slopping around, sticking around a little bit, but they haven't been full glue. It would be so wrong to say this has been full glue. They actually came into both maps with some alright ideas. They're shooting back to some degree. They look okay. I don't think they'd be able to eat all of all glue. 12-man roster? That's too much for Tyler. How would you rate Ty Lue today compared to DRG Nova earlier? Worse, I think, than both teams. Maybe we didn't get to see very much of Ty Lue on the attack side of Fracture, but Ty Lue on the attack of Fracture might have been on the same level as like Nova, I think. Maybe even a tad better, because Nova didn't look that great on the attack side of Fracture. But and they've had some ideas here on defensive Haven too, actually. They might have played about as well as Nova did today, but I think Nova played worse than usual because they were trying so hard to do different compositional stuff. I think Tyloo will end up being worse than Nova in the long run, because I think Nova played one of their worst games today. And I think they'll get better over time.
两边顶出来，就算你 B 进来了，把包低了，你也不好守。更何况这波 C 区其实接得很不错 ，Smokey 在点后依靠自己的一颗烟，配合暗眼，其实是完成了很好的拖延效果的。
其实当时如果能清掉 AB 连或者 BC 连的话，我觉得 B 连确实是一个非常有机会下包的。
主要是后路很空。是。
Stun on the line. Recon broken. 2 players supporting Kangkang. He gets the kill, and Simon even manages to get out as Kangkang repeaks into someone punishing him. And Chichu's even got in the kill on the other side of the map. This is the kind of small detailed coordination stuff that EDG just rip the Chinese teams apart with. Trying to get a wallbang kill. They were so close to getting the kill there. That would have been such a sick wallbang kill through a lobby. They were shooting through this wall onto HFMI when he was tagged up. Yeah, DRG beat Nova 2-0.
现在拿这把狙有点没办法呀，交完暂停之后也没有太好的一个解决方法。主要是他康康旁边这分甚至是站了好几个人，全是保镖。
这一波让我感觉梦回东京那种感觉。
How was Kangkang's waylay? He seemed pretty comfortable on the agent. He was doing a lot of. They had a lot of good stuff cooked up with it. He was trying to capitalize on his own saturates, on the breach util. They were doing a lot of flash and dash stuff as well as stun and dash. Yeah, seemed good. I'm not sure yet that it's better than just running a Raze or a Jet or something, but it looked good. I think they assumed Tyloo would not simply run into A there with their breach ult. I think they thought they'd won the initial fight. They looked like they got taken aback by the pace. This, I've seen 1,000 1v2 clutches like this. 1,000. The player in Graffiti always gets isolated by the jump up onto the windowsill, and then it's a 1v1 and they lose the trade. Dude. EDG, too much individual power for Tyloo to get past, even when Tyloo have some good ideas. That was... yeah, that's a bit of a tier gap there, because even when Tyloo came out with some good plans, EDG was still winning the rounds. So it definitely didn't lead me to believe that EDG are looking immortal or anything like that, but Tyloo, we need to see them play against teams that are more on their level. Teams like JDG or an XLG or Nova maybe even, or like a... I mean, they should be able to beat teams like All Gamers, Tech. Yeah, some of those kind of teams. I think XLG should be better than Tyloo, but looks like Kangkang's limping. Did he kick the table or something? That's strange. All right. I think that's going to do it for me, though. I've got to leave. So I'm going to leave you with somebody else. Who am I leaving you with? Let's have a look at who's live on the old twitch.tvs to send you to. Chobra or Avril. Are you feeling more... Well, actually, I'm not sure whether Chobra is going to continue streaming. I'll send you to Chobra anyway, though, and then you can figure it out from there, I think. Oops, that is not the right channel. That is not the right channel at all. Raid Will Chobra. That's his Twitch channel. All right. I am not going to be streaming tomorrow because it is B's birthday. I will probably not be streaming on Monday either because it's Plat Chat. So I think the next time I'll be streaming is Tuesday in the afternoon. Tuesday UK afternoon kind of time. So I will see you then. Bye-bye.